mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Daddy. A rebel.
Good morning, rebels.
Sunrise on the horizon. Sky is blue, no denying. News with Skyjack Morgan.
Bright and early new dawn.
Headline every story. Get your morning some glory. Shake for shake tune as the day greets new blue. Good morning headlines with Skyjack Morgan. Start your day just fine.
Information for you, darling.
Coffee in your cup used to fill you right up. Cleansing weather on the go. Morning show you need to know. Join us on this daily ride with your morning side by side. Catch the latest, feel the vibe. Sky will keep you well supplied.
All right.
Good morning headlines with Skyjack Morgan. Start your day just fine. Information for you, darling.
Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. This is the #1 news reaction show in YouTube history. Thank you so much for being here. You are a beautiful human being, and I'm glad that you're alive. What did I say? The #1 news reaction show in human history in YouTube history. It's the #1 news reaction show in YouTube history, and I'm just glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're alive. I'm glad that you're happy to be alive. I'm glad that we're alive. I'm glad that we're in this together, because if we weren't in this together, we'd hang separately. What they say, I think Benjamin Franklin said that if we don't hang together, we'll hang separately. And I don't want to hang separately. Do you? I don't want to hang at all, man. They always told me, everyone always said I was well hung, but I never knew what that meant. Do you guys know what that means? Why does everybody always tell me I'm well hung? I don't want to hang. I don't want to hang at all. Why does everybody always say that about me? Of course, Tulsi Gabbard's in the news today. We'll get to that in a second. It's pretty exciting. Tulsi Gabbard, the spy queen, she has been raided by the CIA apparently about brainwashing materials. I think it's funny. That's on. I'm gonna scream into the void. That's on the. On Newsmax today. I'm really excited about looking at that. It's been a wild time in my personal life. I'm telling you, man. I'm trying to get my shit together. It's hard because I'm trying to get my life you try to, I don't know about you, but I wake up, I make my bed, I try to stay organized, that whole thing. And it's hard when it's I'm talking about moving, and it's every little thing I look at, I'm like, is this the thing? Am I going to take this with me, or should I just leave it here? Because I'm just going to leave. I've enlisted a company that will just come into the house and sell everything that I own that I don't take with me. And so now every little thing I look at, everything that belonged to my mother, everything that belonged to me, I look at it and I touch it. I'm like, am I going to keep this? Is this the last? Do I leave this here? I've never moved like this before. I've moved all over the world, and I've never moved like this. I've never had a move where I'm ejecting. I have. I don't know. It's weird. I've never moved where I have a bunch of my dead mother's stuff, obviously, because my mom wasn't dead before. I've never moved out of my mom's house. I've never moved out of my parents' house since I was 16 or 17. I think I left my parents' house when I was 17, and I never came back really. So, now it's like a lot of these things that I see are things that I saw as a child. And so it's very much like being a child again in many ways. And so now I'm looking at things, I'm like, I never cared about this thing, and now it's here in front of me, and I'm having flashbacks from when I was a child. Why? How is it possible that objects can hack your brain? How is that possible that an object can hack your brain? I mean, I get it that people, big duck energy, baby. It's big duck energy, says Nurse Rod. Yeah. I get that, like, people can hack your brain. Puppy dogs and pussycats can hack your brain. They look up at you, those big eyes, and they look so cute, and they make you feel like I couldn't hurt you. People who harm you might hack your brain by tricking you, you know. Con men, they hack your brain by being very confident and telling you what you want to hear and playing to maybe some of your weaknesses. But an object? How does an object hack your brain? Man, which means that all of the brain hacking is just you. The people aren't hacking your brain. You're doing that. The people aren't manipulating you. You're doing it. It's you. I mean, I think about all this time with politics and how Donald Trump is able to pull one over on so many people, and I think of a lot of those folks as victims. But at the same time, it's like, are they though? Are they victims? Because it's coming from inside the house. It's them. It's not that they are. It's not like they're innocent in this, you know? They are part of this. They didn't maybe design it. Maybe it was designed by somebody else, just like an object. But when I get hacked by an object, that's just me doing that to me. So when Donald Trump hacks you, or the political structure, I mean, I got an argument yesterday, getting arguments with people about how, like, oh, the system works and all this, you know. Make sure you've gone and vote, everybody. And they're all just like, yeah, this is all perfectly okay and normal. And I'm like, you've been hacked. But can I blame you? Can I blame you? What do you think? Can I blame you? Should I blame you for being hacked? What do you think? Can you blame the person who's been hacked if the call is coming from inside the house? Anyway, those are the thoughts in my head today as I drink my cheap coffee. My Nescafe. It's so bad. I can't believe I'm drinking it because I have just like a little bottle of it that I'm just trying to get through because somebody left it at my house and I don't want to spend money on coffee. So I'm drinking this disgusting Nescafe, and it's not good. I can't believe people drink this. Do you like it? Maggots aren't victims. Jump in streams. Maggots aren't victims. They're destroying our country. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anyone who continues to support Donald Trump at this point, like, you could say that the gas prices are higher thanks to everyone who voted for Donald Trump. I think that's fair enough. You could blame them if you'd like. But really, he tricked them into doing it, right? They didn't just wake up one day loving Donald Trump. He worked on them, and he worked on them, and he worked on them, and his friends worked on them, and the media worked on them, and everything worked on them. And then eventually they're like, I like this guy. I'm going to vote for him. Like, those guys, I think, are they're still at fault, but they're victims too, right? But can I really, how much percentage are they victim versus perpetrator? Like, if I look at, I don't know, a statue that my mother had on the coffee table when I was 4, and now I see it again 45 years later or something, 43 years later, I look at it and I go, I'm connected to this machine, this object. This object is hacking my brain. No, it's just me hacking my brain, right? The object can assume no blame. But in the case of Donald Trump worked on them and worked on them and worked on them. And yes, they still are to blame, but not entirely, right? Not 100%. People also drink their own water. Yeah, they do that. They do drink their own water. The gas prices, or at least the diesel, is almost the same as here in the Netherlands. I know, Sayard Jan, it's getting crazy. Put me down as a perpetrator. I'm still not giving Democrats a thumbs up. Well, I'm not asking you to give a Democrat a thumbs up, Kirk Wilson. When have I ever asked you to do that? What is it with you guys, you cultists? Kirk, I thought you were coming around. I ain't no cultist. Did I tell you to vote for a fucking Democrat? I never told you to vote for a Democrat. How did I do that? How far are we from the truth today? I don't know, man. You tell me. I mean, we want to watch some Newsmax? I got Newsmax queued up. Let's watch a quick Newsmax since we got Newsmax on the brain.
There are reports that the CIA showed up at her office and removed boxes of files relating to MK Ultra.
MK Ultra? You mean MK Ultra? The why would the CIA go to Tulsi Gabbard's office and take MK Ultra paperwork? Isn't MK Ultra from like decades ago? And isn't MK Ultra the one about giving LSD to people to brainwash them? Isn't that what that is? Why is the CIA? Why did she even have those files open?
A controversial brainwashing program, essentially, that the CIA was running in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and maybe beyond. And also the JFK assassination. Now, as far as we know, I mean, we do know, we've seen the executive orders. These documents were supposed to be public information. Oh. And there seems to be more documents that were not released. And the CIA, according to what we've been told right now so far, the narrative, the CIA wants them back.
What? I mean, does this sound real to you? This is what they're reporting on Newsmax, and I couldn't find it anywhere else. What is going on here? Are you telling me this is true? First of all, do you believe this story that Newsmax is saying that the CIA broke in to the Department of National Intelligence's secretary's office and took files out related to the JFK assassination and MK Ultra? What? I mean, this sounds like just QAnon shit. Come on. Their IQ is to blame if they fell for the BS. Okay, let's say their IQ is to blame. IQ is directly affected by your access to education and your nutrition, or, lack thereof. So if I can manipulate your IQ by depriving you of access to education and nutrition, then isn't it also my fault if you have low IQ? You see what I mean? It's not as simple. MK Ultra is a weed strain. Yeah, I'm sure at this point it is. I mean, everything's a weed strain. Michelob Ultra, that's what it was. They broke into Tulsi Gabbard's office and they said, give us the Michelob Ultra files. And they're like, it's less filling. It tastes great, less filling. Tastes great, less filling.
And this is the strangest methodology to get them back. It looks like one agency is kind of at war with their
Do you guys remember?
Agency. I don't get it. We are waiting more information.
They're at war with themselves. CIA is at war with themselves, everybody. Do you remember those ads where they had girls in bikinis arguing about beer? It's less filling. It tastes great. It's less filling. It tastes great. Remember that?
But it is extraordinary, the reports that are emerging. I'm keeping an eye on Tulsi Gabbard's X, because it's the go-to place, actually, when politicians want to speak. She hasn't tweeted in 2 days, but others are, like Anna Paulina Luna and more, who are deeply, deeply disturbed by what is happening.
Well, Newsmax has reported that the CIA has broken into the boss of the CIA's office and taken files regarding MK Ultra and the assassination of JFK. What the hell? So what? Was Lee Harvey Oswald brainwashed in the MK Ultra? What year? What year did the MK Ultra project happen? 1953, and it halted in 73. Yeah. Approved by the CIA director, Alan Dulles. In 1953, top secret program focused on behavioral modification, interrogation, and mind control using methods like LSD, electroshock, and sensory deprivation on unwitting subjects. MK Ultra project. Why Did they break into her office? Do you believe it? What is really going on? What's going on here? This is what we're doing. This is the goal now. Yeah, I don't know, man. It seems weird to me. She's got Obama by the sack. You think that's what it is? She got Obama by the sack? Oh, no. Oh, no. Tulsi Gabbard's, I don't know. She's saying that she's got documents that will refute Obama's Russiagate. What? Obama's Russiagate? What is going on here? Damn, Newsmax. Always on point. Always on point with Newsmax. Absolutely nothing surprises me anymore in the bizarro MAGA world. I mean, this is crazy. All right, so this guy kind of blew my mind this morning. Have you seen this guy, Mr. Hunt? Let's see. He's a GOP representative saying that slavery is over, which is great. You know, I've heard about this, but let's see.
I'm seeing a lot of talk from my colleagues on the left too as we shift toward this.
My colleagues on the left. What is it with everybody, man? Do you ever hear people talk like that? Like, I don't like Democrats, but do you ever hear them talk like that? My colleagues on the right. I hear a lot of talk of my colleagues on the right. Oh, it's just always weird, this vibe, man, coming out of like these fucking Republican maggers, man, just constant. Just so like, chill, bro. Anyway, this guy's gonna be, I think, a hoot coming out hot.
Reinvigorated talk about Jim Crow and the past of this country. And as someone who is a direct descendant of a slave, as someone whose great-great-grandfather was born on a plantation, I can assure you, slavery is over. Jim Crow is dead.
That's great to know. Okay, so slavery's over. Jim Crow is dead. And he could say that because he's the great-grandson of a slave. And I really like that. I don't want to take that away from anybody, but I love the idea of someone saying, my great-grandfather was XYZ, so therefore, what the fuck are you talking about? That'd be like me saying, my great-grandfather was German, and that means I could tell you exactly so there's no such thing as Nazis anymore, because my great-grandfather was German. I'm here to tell you that there's no such thing as Nazis anymore. And my authority in saying that is my heritage. That's so stupid. That don't make no dang sense. I'm sure emotionally it works, right? My great-grandfather was German, so I could tell you that they didn't really mean it. They're sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Lopez, you're a 60-year-old sophomore at Wiley High School. Did you ever imagine that your high school in Texas, of all places, our great state of Texas, of course, would become a breeding ground for pro-Sharia material and Islamic conversation?
Whoa! I didn't know that was where it was going. Okay, so did you know that Texas was going to be a breeding ground for pro-Sharia? Okay, Sharia law. Let me check my memory banks for Sharia. Accessing Sharia law. Sharia law is mostly, they do talk about how your contracts should be written and stuff. But Sharia law is like Quran stuff, bruh. It's Quran stuff. Like, how to celebrate holidays, for example. That's in there. How to worship. How to operate a mosque, that type of shit's in there, like in Sharia law. They do have some contract stuff because, of course, every religion, they seem to like, they want to have a ritual around every contract and stuff like that. But, I don't know. I mean, how do you guys look at the Quran? It's like, for me, I know that Muslims, they look at it like, oh, this is the last book, this is the last revelation of the Judeo-Christian fucking tradition. This is the last one, and all the other ones, this one takes precedent over the other ones. And then I look at it as just part 3. It's like Return of the Jedi, right? You've got the end of part 2, the death of Christ, and that's kind of like The Empire Strikes Back. It's kind of a bummer in the end. And then part 3, you get Muhammad. He's coming back strong. He's going to fix things. And so you get like part 1, 2, and 3, The New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. That's how I look at it. I know each one thinks the other one sucks, but so do Star Wars fans. They love to like, oh, only Empire Strikes Back is so much better than Jedi. I hate the Ewoks, and the Ewok guys are like, nah, the Ewoks are the best, and I hate New Hope because it's boring. That type of shit. But each one is just a continuation of the other. I get that people argue and they want to kill each other over these books, but as an outside observer, I think they're all dumb books. That they're all good in some ways, but it's dumb to like just be like, no, this is the only book. See, that's dumb. You know what I mean? It's kind of like watching Star Wars and taking Empire Strikes Back and being like, this is the best one, and all the other ones you can't watch them. You're not allowed to watch the other Star Wars movies because Empire Strikes Back is the best one. No, I say Return of the Jedi is the best one, and you can't watch any of the other Star Wars movies. Ewoks suck. Yo, you think Ewoks suck, do you? They took on the Galactic Empire with logs, okay? I don't know how they chop down those logs or how they hang them in trees when they're so small, but those Ewoks literally used trees to defeat the Empire, the Galactic Empire. They're like the Afghan people, right? It took them 20 years to defeat the Empire, but they did it like the Afghans did against the United States of America in the 20-year war that we fought there. And Empire Strikes Back is obviously the superior movie. Okay, Waffle Jackson, so you say, but are you saying that I'm not allowed to watch or like A New Hope? I think A New Hope's the best one myself. I think A New Hope is the best one. In fact, I think A New Hope is actually the only good one. I think A New Hope is the only good Star Wars movies, and all the other ones are just cash grabs, suck jobs that are just fan service, and that's why all Star Wars sucks. I mean, the first one's rad, though. First one, by itself, no more. So I guess I would be like the Jewish person. I only want the Torah, you know? And you're not allowed to read any of the other ones, just the Torah. I'm OG. Because the 10 Commandments are in the first one, man. And I only like the 10 Commandments, man. That's the only shit I'm into. All the other books, forget about it.
I would never imagine that we'd have a hearing questioning the legitimacy of terror-linked organizations going to school. I would never believe we would have this, but that's the America we live in, and it's a sad situation.
Do you think there's an incongruity?
Is that the America we live in? That Texas is a breeding ground for Sharia law? When did that happen? Texas ground's a breeding ground for Sharia law? Oh no!
In the way you are treated as a Christian in your school, in the juxtaposition of that, in the way that your school is welcoming Sharia law and Islamic doctrine.
Yes, there's a clear double standard.
It's a shame that.
Wait a second. How is that a double standard? Christianity's fucking everywhere in this country. What are you talking about? How is it? What? It's a double standard. Christianity is everywhere in this. Have you been to Texas? It's everywhere. You go. God, that's so infuriating. I spent a lot of time in Texas, y'all. Howdy. Let me tell you, y'all. I wish I had my cow. I have a cowboy hat. Should I go get it? Howdy, y'all. Let me tell you something about Texas. We pray the Lord to Jesus Christ every single day. You can hear about it, and you go to the airport. You see your people praying. You'll see scripture written on the walls. You see scripture everywhere you go here in Texas. Yeehaw! Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. It's Texas. Everywhere you go at the Lone Star State, you see Christian shit fucking everywhere. You're driving down the interstate, you see crosses everywhere. Crosses. I'm not talking about those little crosses because somebody died in a car accident. I'm talking billboards with crosses. I'm talking crosses like structures everywhere you go in Texas. They got a city there called Corpus Christi. Do they have a city in Texas called Islamabad? What are you talking about? Is there an Islamabad I don't know about in Texas? Texas. Hey, y'all. Yes. Look, man, you guys bring up Star Trek. Why? I'm not talking about Star Trek. Look, Star Trek is clearly made for adults, and Star Wars is made for children. Make of that what you will. Like, Star Trek was always made for grown-ups, and Star Wars was always made for children. That's it. One is science fiction, and the other one is fantasy. Pew, 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 pew. They both have their place. But Star Wars is basically Fast and Furious in space. That's basically what it is. Look, I did it, guys. Where's my FIFA Peace Prize? Hey, Smoking Blondie. I was trying to do ole, 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 oh, because the FIFA prize. Have a FIFA Peace Prize. Can I get some peace signs in the chat for Smokin' Blondie, who's a new Sky City Rebels? Thank you so much. Christian made-up book, Islam made-up books versus books. Rick James, I totally agree, but this guy's off the chain. He's going crazy, literally off the chain. He just said slavery's over, so... Shit. Here we go.
We are here today, and I'm sorry that we have failed you, but this is why we have this caucus, because we're going to make sure that we get this right. Everybody is treated fairly, regardless of your race, religion, or creed.
Oh.
And some people in this room, what I'm about to say may sound a bit controversial, but it's not controversial because it's true. America is a Christian
It's true.
nation.
America's a Christian nation. Gulp. Is it? Is America a Christian nation? It's a secular nation. It's a fucking, that's why we have a constitution. It's a secular nation. That's why we got the separation of church and state, because it's a secular nation. A secular liberal democracy is what we have. A republic. That's what it's called. Yeah.
We're founded upon Christian values.
We are?
Our founders believed that our rights did not come from government, but they came from God.
Oh, great. Hey, you go. I love it when people say this, that our rights come not from government, but from God. Well, God being like the source of everything, right? The idea is that we have inalienable, inviolable rights, and that those might be God-given, because that's just another, I mean, it's not that God gives you like a little certificate that says you have the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It's just that in our observation of everyone in nature, that seems to be the vibe. And since we equate virtuosity and beauty and nature with God, we say, okay, natural things are God-given. That's not that hard. But I'll even go one step further. Those guys who believe in Sharia law, they believe in the same God that the Christians do. So how is that a Christian thing? That's a Christian God. The Christian God is the same God. Like monotheism is one of the things, the through line of the Torah, the New Testament, the Jesus stuff, and the Muhammad stuff. The through line is monotheism is a big part. Thou shalt not kill. Basically, the Ten Commandments stuff goes all the way through. So you can't say this is a Christian nation when we say, oh, hey, Sharia law, we should like allow it. Like allow people to talk about it and govern themselves in ways that speak to them religiously, because, you know, we have a secular nation. As long as it doesn't violate our civil laws and our criminal laws, then we should allow whatever they want to do, because this is America. It's freedom. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Those inviolable rights given by God that they believe, the same God. Same God. Same one. Same God. Yeah, I see someone saying hundreds of religions, hundreds of gods. Sort of. Not really. Most people believe in the same old God, same guy. They just have different ideas of what he's like. Most people believe just in the one God. Now, there are a bunch of religions and there are a bunch of gods, and some religion have lots of gods. But in like the Western, if you will, kind of tradition, we have one God. That's why it says in God we trust, and then instead of in gods we trust, right? They believe in just the one. But so do the Muslims, guys. So if America's a Christian nation because we believe in God-given rights, then it's just as much a Muslim nation. Oopsie. Dang it, you stupid maggers.
Those ideals shaped our institutions, our culture, our laws, and the very moral foundation and fabric of what I know is the greatest country in the world. Now, America is also a country that welcomes people from all backgrounds of every culture and faith. That's actually what is a part of our greatness. And
you just said that this is a Christian nation, but we accept everybody, and that's what makes us great. Weird.
Somebody like me that fought in combat to ensure that anyone could come to this nation and believe what they want to believe and believe in the First and Second Amendment rights. I welcome that more than you could ever believe, because I laid my life down on the line.
I don't believe you even a little bit because of your previous statement like 5 seconds ago.
Sure that would happen, but let's be clear about something. Assimilation to American values and ideas matter.
Assimilation to American values and ideas matter. So you're free as long as you do what we say. You're free as long as you do what the hegemony, what the hoi polloi, what the majority tells you to do. Then you're free. That's not freedom, buddy. That's not freedom at all. If you have to do what other people tell you to do, that is not freedom. You see, they always talk out of both sides of their ass, these motherfuckers. They're always doing this shit. Oh, I fought for this country, so I believe in the First and Second Amendment rights. Well, okay, it's weird that you only chose those two, but okay. First and Second, okay, those are the ones you like? Got it. It's strange, but weird flex. I don't understand why those are the ones that you always like the most. First and Second, right? First and Second Amendment, they love those two. But they don't. Because if you say something that they don't like, or if you're the wrong person and you have a gun, then they don't, all of a sudden, they don't believe in the First and Second Amendment rights. They don't believe in any of that shit.
When we begin importing belief systems and cultural values that are fundamentally incompatible with the principles that build this nation, we should not be surprised when the social fabric begins to fray. Let me be clear. This is not hateful. This is not racist. This is not...
If you say it's not racist or xenophobic, that automatically makes it not racist or xenophobic. I love when people say that. You know how you could tell a racist is... right after they say something, I'm not racist, but you could always know that shit, that motherfucker, that guy's definitely racist for sure. This guy's super racist, very, very much xenophobic and a bigot. This guy is a bigoted human being, and he should not be in government. But hey, this is a Christian nation because we believe in a God. As a country, most Americans believe in a God, so it's clearly a Christian nation. Somehow that logic checks out, right? That logic checks out. Black people can't be racist. Why you gotta lie? Well, I grew up around black people, and let me tell you, they're racist as fuck. They're very racist as a rule. But not. I mean, I think everybody seems to be that way. Every time this is why I can't get along with most people, because everywhere I go, I find bigotry and racism and hatred. It's very difficult for me to find my people because I don't have any. Everyone seems to want to hate each other based on stupid stuff like where they came from, where they were born. Hey, you were born on that part of the planet? For me, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. What's it like there? To them, they're like, oh, I don't like you then. It's strange. Oh, shit. I hit the wrong button. 1 second. Gotta rewind.
I'm seeing a lot of talk from my colleagues on the left, too, as we...
Hold on. My colleagues on the left.
And make sure that we get this right. Everybody is treated fairly regardless of your race, religion, or creed. Upon Christian values. Our founders believed that our rights did not come from government. Also a country that welcomes people from all backgrounds of every culture and faith. That's actually what is a part of our greatness. And as somebody like me that fought in combat to ensure that anyone could come to this nation and believe what they want to believe and believe in the First and Second Amendment rights, I welcome that more
First and Second, that's the ones they like.
than you could ever believe, because I laid my life down on the line to ensure that that would happen. But let's be clear about something. Assimilation to American values and ideas matter. When we begin importing belief systems and cultural values...
American values and ideas, what are those? If you don't do it, then fuck you, but I'm not xenophobic.
Fundamentally incompatible with the principles that build this nation, we should not be surprised.
The principles that built this nation were slavery. that was a big one. The biggest one, slavery. There's like maybe the biggest one. That was a real top one as far as principles are concerned.
When the social fabric begins to fray, let me be clear, this is not hateful. This is not racist.
We will assimilate you. He's the Borg.
This is not xenophobic.
I know we got some Trekkers in the house. We got some Trekkers in the house today. He's the Borg. Resistance is futile. Beverly Crusher. Beverly Crusher. Locutus.
And I can show I'm not racist. I've been black for like my whole life, for like 44 years.
I'm not racist. I've been black my whole life. Like I said, I grew up in a black neighborhood pretty much. Not completely, but most of my friends were black when I was little. And no, their parents were just as racist, probably more racist than any of white people I knew, except for maybe my grandma. But she wasn't really racist. She just said things that just were a little... We don't use that word anymore, Grandma. Like, she wasn't racist, but she said stuff like colored. You know what I'm saying? Eek. But she didn't not like him or anything. She lived in L.A., man. She was fine. She lived in... I don't know.
I say the Sharia law has no place to usurp our Constitution in these United States of America, and especially in our schools, and especially in our public institutions. America's legal system is rooted in the Constitution and equal justice under the law.
Hey, there you go. You just described secularism. Wow. This guy is contradicting himself. This is why it's so difficult to live in America. In one speech, every sentence, this guy contradicts himself. You just described secularism. We are ruled by the letter of the law because we don't want to be we won't be ruled by religion or by the whims of despots. That's it. That's the whole fucking... You just described secularism. The Constitution does not mention the fucking Ten Commandments or Jesus Christ. Not at all. So...
extremism or parallel legal systems. We have learned from many of our colleagues on the left that this tends to be how they tack in this general direction. Ten Commandments, not allowed. Bad. Islamic pamphlets, good. Ten Commandments, bad. Free Qurans in schools, good.
Ten Commandments, bad. Free Quran in schools, good. Well, you could get free Bibles in schools, too, in Texas and all over America. I don't know if you have ever been to a school in America, but every year, the Gideons stand in front, every year, the Gideons stand in front of the school and hand Bibles to students for free. They don't talk to the students. They just hand the Bibles to the students for free. Little green Bibles, the Gideon Bible. Like Rocky Raccoon, he found it in his room. If they want to hand out Qurans, what's the problem? We hand out the Gideon Bible every year. And yet, why aren't we allowed to hand out that stuff? Why not? And the Ten Commandments are based on what? The Ten Commandments aren't based on Christianity, I'll tell you that. That's Jewy stuff, guys. I thought you guys don't like the Jews. I thought this guy don't like the Jews. Why are you so tied up about the Ten Commandments all of a sudden? Jesus Christ didn't even talk about the Ten Commandments, son. That's a Jewy thing, dude. You're mixing religions again, buddy. You just hate part 3. This guy just hates the Return of the Jedi. He loves A New Hope. He loves The Empire Strikes Back. But when it came to the Ewoks, he's like, no. He just doesn't like Lando Calrissian flying the Millennium Falcon. He doesn't like the idea of Lando Calrissian flying the Millennium Falcon in in Return of the Jedi. Lando flying the Millennium Falcon? Destroying the... Wait, was that part 2? Shit, was Empire Strikes Back? No, that was Return of the Jedi. Destroys the second. Yeah, Return of the Jedi.
See, bad. Understanding
even I guess I shouldn't make fun of him because I forget which one. Did Lando Calrissian fly the Millennium Falcon in Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi? See, he doesn't know, were the Ten Commandments in the New Testament or the Old Testament? What about Genesis? What about that Noah's Ark story? Which one was that? That's the thing. All that stuff, those are Jewish fairy tales. All that stuff. It's so funny to me. The Old Testament, part 1, A New Hope, was just Jewish fairy tales. Part 2, greatest story ever told, Jesus Christ. Fun stuff. I think it's a great story. I like part 2. I'm an Empire Strikes Back kind of guy. And then you got part 3, the Quran, which, it's got some good parts and some bad parts, but, take it or leave it. It's up to you. Why hate on them? Why hate on any of these?
For sure, good. This is the hypocrisy that we Christian Americans are quite sick of. The same people who mock or marginalize America's founding values suddenly become deeply tolerant when the ideology in question is directed against Western traditions and institutions. Meanwhile, Sharia law is normalized and distributed to children in school while expressions of traditional faith are treated like a threat. Here's how things should work. Math, yeah. Free Qurans? No. History, yeah. Jury brochures? No. Science.
You don't like history, though. You don't like history, though, do you? Because you don't know it.
Honor cards? No. This is a very simple idea that should be understood by all Americans.
That you hate Muslims. Got it. Every American should understand that hating Muslims is A-okay, according to this guy in Texas. Texans, it's okay to hate Muslims again. We never got away from 2002. Remember in 2002 when people hated Muslims? Everyone was walking around hating Muslims because of the 9/11 thing, and everyone blamed Muslims. The hate is for our freedom.
One of my best friends is a Muslim American, and he is a fighting Texas Aggie, but he actually sees himself as an American first and has fully embraced our culture and what it means to be an American. That's good. That's what we want. That's why we call this place a melting pot.
This is so infuriating because the fact that a black man will say this shit is just crazy, because literally 50 years ago, embracing American culture meant blacks and whites don't eat lunch together. Blacks and whites don't hang out. Blacks and whites don't get married. Blacks and whites don't date. Blacks and whites don't drink out of the same drinking fountain. Don't sit on the same buses. Don't sit next to each other on trains. Blacks aren't allowed on planes. Like, that is American culture that you need to accept just 50 years ago. Just accept it. Assimilate. It wasn't that long ago. Literally 1975, they still had Jim Crow. It was still popular, man. It was still, I mean, they still hang people. Lynching is still a thing. It's not as bad as it was, but it still happens. So just accept it. School shootings, that's part of our culture. Just accept it. Just accept it. Assimilate. You don't like school shootings? Then move.
Seeing a lot of talk from my colleagues on the left, too, as we shift toward this reinvigorated talk about Jim Crow and the past of this country. And as someone who is a direct descendant of a slave, as someone whose great-great-grandfather was born on a plantation, I can assure you, slavery is over.
It's over because people refuse to accept the bullshit parts of American culture. They did exactly the opposite of what you're suggesting. They sided for pluralism, openness, freedom, liberty for all, to do whatever they wanted, because you shouldn't be tied to anything. You shouldn't be chained to anything. Certainly not somebody else's religion.
Jim Crow is dead. When I go anywhere, I don't see any white-only signs. I don't, I promise you. I am a black man that represents a white majority district.
Yeah, we heard that you're a black man. Tell me again. I could tell that you're black. You've said it 4 times now in order to pretend like you're not a racist piece of garbage.
In Texas, the great-great-grandson of a man born on a plantation stands before you today as a proud conservative Republican from Texas.
They call you an Uncle Tom is what they call you. They call you a traitor. They call you a class traitor, a race traitor. It's not good, dude. I'm here as a black man. I'm not racist, just conservative, and I hate those Muslims. I mean, Louis Farrakhan hates Jews, like a lot. Can't shut up about him. He's an anti-Semite. Does he get out of jail free? Does he get out of being an anti-Semite? I'm not an anti-Semite. I'm black. That doesn't. No siree Bobski. Nope. If you're a person who worships the military and the police and the state, and you love the status quo and you don't want any change because it's gone far enough. We've gotten rid of the whites only drinking fountains, so that's enough. That's far enough. We don't want to let all these Muslims come in and start talking about how to, I don't know, be Muslim. Thou shalt not kill and stuff.
Believer and follower in Christ, and as a believer in what this country can be if we allow equality for not just Muslim Americans, not just Buddhist Americans, but also Christian Americans like yourself. God bless you, young man. You give me a lot of hope for the future of this country.
You give me zero hope for the future of this company.
We appreciate you being with us.
It was actually really sad to see that. Very depressing to watch someone in Congress. I'm sorry, in it's State Senate of Texas, to see that. Sad, very sad. Pro-Palestinian Islamic terrorist supporters are anti-Semitic Nazi sympathizer. Pro-Palestinian Islamic terrorist supporters are anti-Semitic Nazi sympathizer? Brutal facts. You are coming in hot again today. That doesn't make any sense, buddy. Anti-Semitic Nazi sympathizers. No, that's not at all what you're talking about. Pro-Palestinian Islamic terrorist supporters. Who are those people? Who are the pro-Palestinian Islamic terrorist supporters? Wow, you're really on one today, huh?
Thank you. How do you interpret this? Because I think you and I both would agree. On paper, the top geopolitical foe of the U.S.
Watching this guy, this is Lindsey Graham. Yes. Listen to this. Yes. This creepo. I love this. Let's do it again.
How do you interpret this? Because I think you and I both would agree. On paper, the top geopolitical
Yes.
foe of the U.S. is China. However, you see
Yes.
this. You see America's best and brightest
Yes.
minds. They're all here in Beijing.
Yeah.
They're all going to be at those meetings. It seems a lot of this is based on mutual interest financially, especially.
Yeah, I think so. Number one, I'm glad President Trump is representing our country. He's the right guy to do deals. He's a deal maker, and I think he'll come out of this summit with a lot of business opportunity.
You guys, he's a deal maker. He's made all the great deals. What deal has he made that's really helped Americans? Well, he raised the price of gas. Hey, shut up.
Getting into China's markets that have been closed. They could buy a lot from our American farmer to help the American farm economy. We can do things to help them. They can do things to help us. We got the A-team from an American point of view.
The A-team. I love it. A small group of crack commando team was captured and falsely committed of a crime they didn't, falsely accused of a crime they didn't commit. They were promptly escaped from a military blockade and now survive as soldiers of fortune in the Los Angeles underground. If you need help, and if you can find them, maybe you can call the A-team. I think I almost got it. I think I almost got it. A crack commando team. What are your beliefs? Freedom, anti-slavery, anti-oppression, total liberation. It's not really belief, it's a principle. I have a principle of total democracy, total liberation, total freedom. Pretty cool, right? You thought it was pretty good, Twisted? I think that's how it goes. A crack commando team was falsely accused and convicted of a crime they didn't commit. They promptly escaped from a maximum security military blockade and now survive as soldiers of fortune in the Los Angeles underground. If you need help, and if you can find them, maybe you can call the A-team. And then it goes like this. Something like that. It's been a long time since I've heard that, and it's still stuck in my brain after all these years. What 1980s shows did you watch that you can't get out of your stupid little brain? I can't remember my boss's name from my last job, and I can remember every word of the intro of the A-Team show.
But I'm not thinking about happy children when I think about China. This is going to be judged by me.
I don't think about happy children when I think about China. I think about happy children when I think about Donald Trump, because he always takes care of them little girls on Epstein Island. I saw him. He was always real nice. He's always real nice to all them little kids. Donald Trump, he loves them little kids.
By me, if China still buys 90% of Iranian oil, they still are the number one purchaser of Russian oil and gas. When this summit is over, and we do nothing about it, we'll made a big mistake. So he's sitting across President.
MASH doesn't have a theme song. MASH didn't have a theme song. It was like. So I had like a weak. It always has like a weak trumpet. I don't think I ever saw a single episode of A-Team. Well, let me describe it for you. This guy named Hannibal, he comes up with a plan, and then he gets the crazy person that they broke out of an insane asylum to fly a plane. But B.A. Baracus, Mr. T, he doesn't like flying, so he's always like, I ain't gonna get no plane, fool. That fool can't even fly a plane, Hannibal. And Hannibal's got to be like, all right, trick him. And so they trick him. They usually give him like a glass of almond milk, and he goes, is that milk? I love milk. Ugh. And he passes out so they can put him on the plane. And then once that hurdle is over, then they got to like seduce a girl somehow. So Face, he's like the handsome one. He drives a Corvette for some reason. I don't know where they got the Corvette. Anyway, so he has to trick the girl. And the girl, she's got to give him like a key or some shit. She got to give him some other option, some other MacGuffin, right, to get into the next level. And then they get holed up they're on an adventure of some kind trying to save somebody that they need help, because they're the A-Team and they survive as soldiers of fortune in the Los Angeles underground. Anyway, so now they're holed up someplace, and that's like, it's getting bad, man, because the bad guys are winning. But they're a crack commando team and they know how to do shit. So then they have a montage of them building like a tank out of like a shopping cart and like some scrap metal, and they have a montage and they build like a super machine, like a weapon of mass destruction. And then they go out and they kill all the bad guys. Well, they don't really kill them. The guys kind of jump out of the way when they shoot at them, and they blow them up, and they all kind of jump out of the way. Sometimes they kill people, but not usually. And then in the end, Hannibal, the boss, Colonel, he goes, I love it when a plan comes together. And he always has a cigar. I love it when a plan comes together. And that's how it goes. As if he planned it all along. There you go. Now you don't ever have to watch. You never have to watch an episode of Mr. T. But I grew up with it as a child. And when I moved to Germany, it was playing on TV. And I watched it in German. And people like, how come you learn how to speak German so quickly? And I'm like, well, every Sunday they showed reruns of A-Team in German, and I watched it. That's how I learned German. Don't forget the part where they always ride around in the badass van. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the van. The van is also part of it. It's part of the van. Yeah, MacGyver. MacGyver was cool and all, but not like the A-Team. Yeah, the red stripe. The van was pretty cool. The van, everyone had the toy van. Yeah, and the van had their machine guns and stuff in it. Yeah. And later on, the last season, they introduce a new character, and they're like working with the bad guy. Oh, by the way, there's always in the beginning, they're always getting chased because they escape from prison. So they're always getting chased by the military too. So the American military is after them. They're trying to help down on their luck people in Los Angeles who have, problems with drug lords and stuff. They got drug lord problems and stuff. So the A-Team's trying to help them also escape the military who's looking for them all the time. And so that adds a little wrinkle in it every episode. It's good times. You'll have a fun time. Yes. How do you remember the shit? This is from the 80s. Yeah, that's the question. Why do I remember that? I love that question. It really bothers me that I know the theme song in my head of Airwolf, and it will not go away. Why do I have the theme song of Airwolf in my head? When I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to go... I'm going to do that on my deathbed. Make sure I have a kazoo. I will be playing all of the 1980s TV show opening jingles. Different strokes we play, different strokes it takes, different strokes to rule the world. Yes, it does. It takes different strokes to rule the world. I remember all of them, and I will never get them out of my head. Airwolf. Airwolf wasn't even on that long, and it's in my goddamn... Airwolf had like 2 seasons or some shit, and it's in my fucking head until I die. Knight Rider. Boom, 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 ch, boom, ch, boom, boom. Shit, bro. Michael Knight, a lone warrior against. It can't go away. Bonanza, of course. If you there were originally words to it. If I got a right to pick a fight, if you pick a fight with one of my brothers, you pick a fight with me. All for one, one for all. Bonanza, that's before the 80s. That's, you see what I mean? Brady, here's a story of a lovely lady. Yeah, everyone knows the song. It's a fucking MK Ultra. They put something in the water to make me... I'm part of MK Ultra, clearly. I was brainwashed in the 80s, and I will never escape the brainwash. I'm sure that his brain, for example... I guarantee you Lindsey Graham doesn't have this problem. Lindsey Graham is just like, now my brain is completely clean. I don't remember what I said just a week ago. Gulp. Remember when I said that I hate Donald Trump like he should die tomorrow, and then never anybody who votes for him is voting for the Third Reich? Remember when I said that? Remember when I said that Donald Trump was going to ruin America and that we can't survive him, that this republic won't survive? Oh, my goodness. Now he sings YMCA, and I know I love that song. It's all about hanging out with them boys. I do declare.
Trump is trying to be charming, and he's a very effective man. China's put on a hell of a show. But I'm going to judge his summit by what China does. She could pick up the phone and end the Russian-Ukraine war. He could pick up the phone and end the Iran conflict.
Wait a second. Xi Jinping can do that? Can pick up a phone and do that? Didn't Donald Trump say he could do that? Because last time I fucking checked, we're supposed to be on our side. What the fuck are we even talking about? Lindsey Graham's on television saying that Xi Jinping could pick up the phone and end the Ukraine war. He could pick up the phone and end the conflict over in Iran. What? Donald Trump said he could do that. When did the superpower go to Xi Jinping? How embarrassing.
If he chose to. Without China buying Iran oil, they would be out of business. The number one purchaser of Russian oil and gas, propping up Putin, is China. And my message to President Trump is that we have your back. And if China continues to do this, well, without paying a price for disrupting the world, then we'll have made a huge mistake. I've got legislation that will allow President Trump to put tariffs on China for buying Russian oil and gas, and I'll do the same thing for Iran.
We got to put more tariffs on them. That'll help y'all out at the gas pump. Ding, ding, dude. Look at me. I don't give a shit. I spread my cheeks so wide that Donald Trump likes to put his little finger up in my buttonhole. He loves putting his little finger up there, so he works me like a puppet. My prostate's got holes in it. It's been poked so much.
The only thing China respects is strength. So when this is over, if they're still doing the same damn thing with Iran and Russia, and we don't punish China, we've made a mistake.
Let's talk a little bit about what would their alternative be, Senator? In other words, I think maybe it's an opportunity we really haven't spent a lot of time talking about. You're right. About 90% of the oil they get from Iran. They want those Strait of Hormuz open. It was pretty fascinating when a
Bros, we all want this. The motherfuckers. We all want the Strait of Hormuz open because none of us can afford to fucking live. You know what I'm saying? My gas price is almost double what it used to be, okay? No matter where you live, the average gas price is now $5. Good dang ding dang do. Lord.
Chinese tanker was hit in the Strait of Hormuz. That was shocking. Maybe the one remaining ally and friend that the Iranians have at this time. And clearly there is this unholy alliance. You have Vladimir Putin, you have Russia, you have Iran, you have North Korea that have been in all.
They always do this shit, these fucking Republicans, every time. The evil empire, the unholy alliance, what did stupid George W. Bush call it? The axis of evil, the axis of. If you don't, you've all been hoodwinked. The axis of evil, like Reagan called it, the evil empire, the fucking evil empire. The axis of evil, the own unholy alliance. God, I love these guys.
Well, the complaints about the swarms of vultures, or a committee of vultures, if you want to use the technical term, have been going
Vultures or a committee of vultures? Why do they call them? Then don't say swarms, a committee.
On in this neighborhood for years now, but it just now escalated to the point where the town of Hillsborough is actually suing the couple that they believe is drawing those vultures into the street.
What?
Like a scene from a movie.
They're a little spooky, to be frank.
Holden Richards living his own Hitchcock-style nightmare.
Everybody thinks they're ugly and stuff, but they also are not great. You know, they're not good neighbors.
Vultures taking over his neighborhood on Queen Street in Hillsborough.
They tend to mark their territory with their excrement, and and they have really long, sharp talons, and so they're not great animals to have perching on your house.
Aside from cleaning up presents, he's also had to fix his roof.
I watched them pick tiles off my neighbor's roof, and I found tiles from my roof in my front yard, so I have a feeling that's exactly where they came from.
Pictures now in court documents showing dozens of vultures circling this house he believes is the culprit, his neighbors, Ken and Linda Ostrand.
I'm sure that every one of my neighbors have probably called.
A few vultures greeted us from their home where Linda welcomed us inside to share her side of the story. She says they're being unfairly targeted, and the birds have been there since before she moved in.
It's sort of, it's ridiculous is what it is, but I guess when somebody complains, they have to respond to it.
How fucking this little old lady, is that what you expected? This little old lady's like, I didn't call the vultures. The vultures came over by themselves. They've been here since time immemorial. I don't know where they came from. This lady's from California, and why does she talk like this? I don't know where they came from. They came all the way from Timbuktu, for all I know, and Tarnation. They came over, and now they're on the house, but they've been here forever. Some people call them a symbol of death, but I think they're beautiful. I think the vultures are just beautiful. I think they're kind creatures, and they take care of the carrion now. Don't you worry nothing about these vultures. They're good neighbors. They've been here forever. They're good. They cleaned up all the dead. Some people think they take one's soul to heaven. If you're lucky enough to be devoured by a vulture, they take your soul, they taxi it right up to the good Lord's embrace.
Complaints the town changing its ordinances, banning any feeding of wildlife beyond normal bird feeders.
And they passed a rule. They said you can't feed birds unless the feeders are hung 5 feet off the ground.
Okay.
So nobody in town anymore is allowed to throw seed on the ground.
According to this new complaint filed by the town against the Austrians, they claim they were feeding scraps to the vultures and even named some of them, all seeking an injunction to end the alleged feeding of the vultures that they say is causing a safety issue. Linda says it's based on hearsay, and in their response, they say the evidence of the flying birds doesn't prove that they were feeding them, quote, any more than tennis shoes demonstrates that the wearer is a Wimbledon player. She's also a longtime wildlife rescuer.
Oh, if people didn't...
Oh no, I'm not part of a vegan death cult. You're part of a vegan death cult. No, she definitely she's got a possum. Oh no, she shouldn't have shown the possum. You shouldn't have shown the possum, lady. This is and if my possum dies, the great circle of life, I'm gonna send the scraps of the possum. I'll send the possum baby out there with the vultures. After all, it's only natural that they eat.
have vultures around here, you would hear them screaming bloody murder about the town not cleaning up the animals that have been hit by cars. Because that's what they do. They're nature's garbage disposals.
Now, the Committee of Vultures turning to a committee of lawyers and judges until this case is settled.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do to tell the vultures that this is a no-feed zone. I just don't know.
Now, as it stands right now, there is no court date set here in Orange County for that civil case against the Austrians. Meanwhile, the town of Hillsborough declining to comment while that case is still pending. In Hillsborough, Tom George, ABC 11, Eyewitness News.
Well, there you go. If we didn't have these vultures on the house, everyone would be complaining about how the city don't clean up all this roadkill. Now, why do you think all these vultures are here? I'm not feeding them one scrap, but here's this possum I'm raising.
What do you do when you can't sleep at night? Do you A, read a book, B, watch TV, C, count sheep, or D, go nuts on your own personal social media platform? For the President of the United States, the answer a lot of the time is D, according to a new analysis by the Wall Street Journal.
Did she just said the president goes nuts on his own social media? He does. That's true. That's true.
The president has gone on 44 late-night truth social sprees since the start of his second term, publishing dozens of posts between the hours of 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. On Monday alone, Trump posted 55 messages between 10:14 and 1:12 a.m., many of them reposts from other accounts. They include things like 2020 election conspiracies, complaints that Hillary Clinton, Jack Smith, and Merrick Garland hadn't been indicted by the DOJ, a call to, quote, arrest Obama the traitor by Cat Turd. Then
Cat Turd. I just love that. I love that Donald Trump is retweeting, retruthing Cat Turd. I love that there's a user on Truth Social called Cat Turd. I love that Cat Turd is getting noticed by the president. The president knows Cat Turd. I love this guy, Cat Turd. He's doing great work. Great work, Cat Turd. He's doing great stuff over here. He's really bringing the country together. Really bringing up great points. Arrest Obama the traitor. Like poetry. It was like poetry. It's Tolstoy. Fucking Pushkin. It's just like Alexander Pushkin. He's so eloquent and beautiful. Very nice. Very nice.
after a quick 6.5-hour hiatus, which we hope included sleep, he was right back to it, this time with AI slop. At 7:53 a.m., an AI picture of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Nancy Pelosi floating in sewage.
Democrats. I love this thing. Democrats. Okay, that's great. From now on, I'm calling you the Republicans. Republicans, because you're all a bunch of rapists. Republicans. That's your name now. You're a Republican. Do we have any Republicans in the chat? Because the Democrats, I'd rather, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not one. But if I were a Democrat, I'd rather be a Democrat than a Republican. Man, we got a lot of Republicans in here. Cat Turd calls me ugly man. What? You know who that is? Blondie. Finally, Cat Turd gets there too. Finally, Cat Turd gets there. Yeah. Cat Turd, head of CIA now. Cat Turd, Whig party over here. I think the Republicans we need Republicans. That's what I'm calling you from now on. If they're the Democrats, and the demon rats. I think it's great. Republicans.
A sewage-filled DC reflection.
I just made it up. If anybody ever sees it, I'm sure someone else has thought of this. Somebody else must have thought of this by now. Republicans, right? I don't know. I seem like to be the person who made up maggers and magtard. No one ever said those things before me. I'm way ahead, man. I see these bastards over on fucking The Daily Show and like Bill Maher stealing my jokes, man. They must watch my show.
Pool. Not sure why he'd want to put sewage into a monument like that, but he did. The caption was, "Democrats love sewage." At 7:55 a.m., an AI image of J.B. Pritzker surrounded by fast food. Caption, "JB is too busy to keep Chicago safe." And less than a minute later, a side-by-side of an AI Hakeem Jeffries at his home surrounded by money, and then his district filled with trash.
Huh.
The Wall Street Journal reports today that he has helped with at least some of these posts. According to multiple people familiar, the Wall Street Journal says Trump's executive assistant.
You said it yesterday? Ah, nice. Smoking Blondie, nice. Republicans is not bad. I think Republican. You did say Republicans? Really? Republicans? I didn't know that. MAGA Muppets. Yep. Cat Turd. Cat Turd?
Natalie Harp brings him stacks of printed out social media posts to approve. Harp then logs into the president's account, sometimes outside normal work hours, and posts batches of approved content on his behalf. Other times, the president is posting himself. And it's not all going over well at the White House. According to the Journal, Harp has frustrated some officials who aren't happy about her solo access to the president's social feed, complaining she often does not share draft posts with the president's chief of staff's office, communication aides, or national security officials. The Journal says Harp has told colleagues that she only works for Trump and only listens to him. In fact, the Journal reports it was Harp, at Trump's direction, who posted the Lion King spoof, which included AI distortions of Barack and Michelle Obama as apes. And it was her who posted the AI Jesus Trump. I'm sorry, Dr. Trump. Both posts, by the way, got such intense backlash from Republicans and Trump supporters that both were later deleted.
They delete them, but so that makes it go away, right? Well, if you delete it, if I run, Donald Trump is like the perfect example of like white privilege, right? Of course, I ran the red light, even I don't have a driver's license, officer, and I'm really sorry about that. I never had a driver's license because I don't know how to drive. In my defense, officer, I didn't know that the red meant stop, okay? Red stop, I never knew. I thought no meant yes. I thought no meant yes. I thought yes meant no. I don't know. Green means stop? Is that how it works? And red means go? Donald Trump doesn't understand what no means, doesn't know what stop means. So him running a stop sign would be perfect scenario if he was pulled over by a police officer and you say, well, now that I know, officer, you can let me go. As if the world is just like training session for Donald Trump and no one has the guts to tell him the difference between right and wrong.
For decades, millions of people...
It was the fuck aroundest times. It was the find outest of times. Yes, the Dickensian narrative. Yes, we're all the Dickensian narrative. Thank you so much. Smoking Blondie's a member. Look, I didn't get the FIFA prize. Did we get some peace signs in the chat for her? Man, come on now.
Watch the news from CNN's world headquarters in downtown Atlanta, but few knew that high above those newsrooms, CNN founder Ted Turner once lived in this small...
Oh, Ted Turner's dead, and he used to live on top of CNN in the old days. That's funny. Look at this.
Apartment right on top of that building.
Yeah, I worked in that building for 50 years. I never knew it was there. Atlanta News First reporter Adam Murphy got an exclusive tour, and he's invited you to join him inside.
That's cool.
Behind this locked door on the 14th floor of the old CNN.
When I worked at Disneyland, I went into Walt Disney's apartment a few times, and it's kept like, but all the furniture and stuff's in there too. It is creepy because it looks like someone just left, and it's a really weird little apartment. But
Center. There is a spiral staircase that takes you back in time.
Man, I love spiral staircases. Do you love spiral staircases? I love spiral staircases. Do you love them? I think they're cool. I don't know why I think they're cool. They seem like I don't know. Maybe because you rarely see them. Aren't they cool? They're cool, right? I think they're cool.
Back to the 1980s.
I mean, it was, 700 square feet at most, probably significantly less than that.
Former Turner Broadcasting employee Patrick Shanley said he got a rare glimpse into the personal life of media mogul Ted Turner many years ago.
The first year I was working there, I was working in Express Services. Ted's assistant said, "Hey, I have some supply."
Maybe it's 700 square feet, like you said, but that patio looked like it's 700 square feet. I look doing okay.
I need to bring up to Ted's apartment. Can you help? And I was like, sure. There's an apartment.
That apartment is now a piece of Atlanta history and has been largely untouched for 40 years. Inside, the original carpeting, lampshades, TVs, and telephone next to the commode.
Man. Jane Fonda had sex in that room. Jane Fonda definitely had sex in that shower. Jane Fonda had sex up there because he was married to her for a while. I bet they definitely. I would bet they had sex up there. Jane Fonda, American hero.
Everything, including appliances, frozen in time. This was Ted's first apartment when he moved to Atlanta, and those who knew him said he wanted to be close to the action. So he moved into this modest 800 square foot apartment on the media empire he built here in downtown Atlanta.
I'm looking around and I'm like,
that's sick.
This is it? Like it was, it's a small kitchen, small bedroom, and a wall in between that had like this massive.
Well, that wasn't it. I mean, he still owned several houses. At one point, he was one of the richest men in America, so.
Saltwater fish tank in it, and that was it.
Ted's apartment stands as a reminder that before he built a global media giant, he was a hands-on newsman who wanted to live right in the heart of the story. In downtown Atlanta, Adam Murphy, Atlanta News First.
Before, I don't know. He bought the Atlanta Braves at some point. He was definitely Time Warner, man. Pretty cool. Turner Broadcasting bought Time Warner, and then Time Warner bought AOL, Time Warner, Turner Broadcast. I don't know. They all ended up merging at some point. CNN. He started CNN. Elon did it. Elon did what did he do? A landline on the shitter. He had to be close to the news. There's a landline in the shower as well. Did you notice that? He and Jane Fonda. Do you remember her? They were doing they were saying that the Atlanta Braves, they used to do this tomahawk thing, and they said that was racist. And then they were in the World Series, and they were doing it. They're like, oh my God, you see, they're hypocrites. They're racist because they're doing the tomahawk because the Atlanta Braves are playing. I miss those old controversies. I miss those old scandals. Ted Turner and Jane Fonda are doing the tomahawk hand signal, so they must be racist against Indians because he bought the Atlanta Braves. Those were the days.
I love when we can get a peek inside something we've never seen before. Here at Atlanta News First, we're paying tribute to CNN founder Ted Turner. You can watch our special Remembering Ted Turner on A&F Plus, a deep look at his life and legacy. Stream it on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV.
Dead as a doornail. See ya, Ted Turner. Sorry, hardly knew ya. Poor guy. Poor rich man. Oh, look at this rich fuck. Look at all these rich fucks going to China. This is who owns America. This is who owns it. Jane Fonda's dad was cool. Yes. Henry Fonda. There's Henry Fonda, and then her brother Peter Fonda. They were all cool. Yeah. Peter Fonda was he was in Easy Rider, and Henry Fonda was, from Nebraska, from Omaha, Nebraska, right? For Grand Island, Nebraska. He's from Nebraska, and he was one of the greatest actors in the history. I mean, he played Lincoln. He played Abraham Lincoln. Fonda. He was in 12 Angry Men. I mean, the guy's one of the greatest actors of all time. And he had 2 beautiful children. Look at all these guys. There's Tim Cook, Tim Apple, I mean. Bezos and Elon Musk. Look at all these guys. How come all them get to go to China with Donald Trump? Who's in charge here? Who's in charge? How come all these guys are with them? A win-win, properly handled and manage various differences between us. Yeah. Promote the stable, sound, and sustainable development of China and U.S. relations. There you go. We needed Elon Musk for that. We need Elon Musk in China to establish U.S. and China relations. Totally normal, everybody, right? Right? Totally normal? Yeah? Totally normal. Okay, I'm glad that you guys are with me on this. Yeah. I love this idea. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Let's see if I can get Donald Trump. Here we go. Let me see. Elon Musk. Here he is. There he is. Walking like a weird... Why does he walk so weird? God damn it, these creeps. Tim Apple. That's Elon Musk. Yeah, we needed him there. So Jensen Huang, Tim Cook, and Elon Musk, all there. Isn't that nice? That's right. That's the MAGA team, right? Yeah, that's who's the ballroom's for. Is those guys? They got to come back and have a ballroom. It's okay. They will strike this channel. He won't make money. Oh no! You reported this channel for spam. Who did you do? Why? You partake 420. Why did you do that? We're paying for him all to go. It's true. It's true. We are, indeed. Yes. Man, why do you cry so much? You partake. The Internet 2026, where we mass report your channel to get it shut down. You gotta love the internet. It's a whole thing, yeah. It's a whole thing they try to do. They try to do it all the time to me. They don't like anarchists. everyone always thinks the anarchists are the bad guys because we don't want either of you assholes in charge. Oh, dang it.
习近平主席与特朗普总统会谈当中指出，台湾
Because you're stealing content, watch, you will get your channel shut down. You're so stupid, brother. Yeah, I'm going to get my channel shut down for reacting to news from the Associated Press. Get the fuck out of here, you dumb piece of garbage. Here, I'm going to go ahead and ban you. Here you go. Ban user and delete their comments. There you go. You're banned. Dumb shit.
问题是中美关系中最重要的问题，处理好了，两国关系就能保持总体稳定；处理不好，两国就会碰撞甚至冲突，将整个中美关系推向十分危险的境地。台独与台海和平水火不容。
Oh, look at this. This is my favorite right here. This is really great. Taiwan issue is the most critical issue in China-U.S. relations. If handled properly, bilateral relations can remain generally stable. If mishandled, the two countries will have clashes, even conflict. China's threatening war. China's literally threatening us with war right there.
甚至冲突，将整个中美关系推向十分危险的境地。台独与台海和平水火不容，维护台海和平稳定是中美双方最大公约数。美方务必慎之又慎处理台湾问题。
The U.S. side must exercise the utmost caution in handling the Taiwan issue. Yeah, sounds like it's going great. Sounds like everything in China is going great. China says the U.S. must exercise the utmost caution in handling the Taiwan issue. Yeah, this is going fantastic. Taiwan independence and peace across the Taiwan Strait are irreconcilable as fire and water. Taiwan independence and peace across Taiwan Strait are irreconcilable as fire and water.
台海和平水火不容。
Maintaining peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait is the greatest common denominator between our two countries. The U.S. side must exercise the utmost caution in handling the Taiwan issue. So they threatened us with conflict. They said that it's irreconcilable having independence in Taiwan, and that USA better mind our P's and Q's, or else we're going to have conflict between our two nations. Great negotiator there, Donnie boy. This is the first time I've heard them talk about Taiwan like this in years. For some reason, we're going to war in Asia. You wait. You wait. They're going to take over Taiwan, and we're not going to do anything about it. You'll see the buildings of Taipei crumble. And for what? Xi laughing in his head while with him, yeah. Xi Jinping is just cracking up about this. Because he knows we ain't got the guns, man. We're bombing Iran. And we're depleting our stockpiles. And China's not. China, if they wanted to right now take Taiwan, what are we going to do about it? You think we got the stomach for 2 wars? You think Americans got the stomach? You think we got the stomach like, you think we got the muscle like we used to? We ain't got the muscle like we used to. What are we going to do? Send some drones? What are we going to do? Go to war with China? They got nukes. We don't go to war with countries with nukes because we're a bunch of cowards. We don't go to war with countries that got nukes. But China will.
The president has called Medicaid, Medicare, and child care little scams and said, quote, we're fighting wars, we cannot take care of daycare. I'm just trying to understand that. Is it your position, since you're asking taxpayers for another $500 billion for the war?
We got nukes, apparently. Yeah, we do got nukes. You're absolutely right about that. We got the nukes, but China doesn't care. Iran doesn't care. Nobody cares that we got nukes. Because they know what are we going to do? We're going to drop nukes on somebody? You think we're going to drop a nuke on somebody?
That American families should be forced to give up child care and health coverage so that you can have $1.5 trillion for this budget?
Iran got nuked? No, Iran never got nukes. What are you talking about? Iran never had nukes. When did Iran have nukes? Tell me when Iran had some nukes. Iran ain't got no nukes. They had 60% enrichment. That's like 90% of the way there. They never got to full. They never were gonna. I don't think we would war with China over Taiwan. That's my thought. No, we won't. We won't. Because we ain't got the fucking balls. We used to talk big about it. Hey, Taiwan is a free country, and we stick up for free countries. But ever since we didn't stick up for the Ukraine, we ain't sticking up for Taiwan. We had a promise to Ukraine. We had a promise to Taiwan that we're going to back you. We don't keep our promises. Ask the Indians. You make a deal with America, it's worth the paper it's written on. Our signature is worth nothing. America signs contracts that are worth nothing. The Constitution is worth nothing because the government doesn't believe in the Constitution. You believe in the Constitution. They don't. The state doesn't believe in it. They pretend so you don't kill them. But they don't actually believe in the Constitution. They don't believe in the deals they made with the Indians, the countless treaties and agreements, contracts that they made with the Indians. They don't care about the countless promises that they made to other countries, like the Hungarians, when they said, yes, please revolt against the Russians. We'll back you. We did not. They were slaughtered. Cuba, we did not back them. They were slaughtered. Taiwan, we've been pretending like we're going to back them for 75 years, I think, something like that. A long time. We promised Ukraine that we would back them. We did not. We're not backing Taiwan. We're cowards. This country is a country of this nation is a country of cowards.
Senator, that's not my department. I certainly support this, and I also support the president's efforts to find and remove fraud wherever possible in a general sense. And we do that in our department as well.
I'm not talking about fraud. I actually asked whether an American family should lose their health care or their child care to pay for this budget. That is literally what the president suggested.
The president has proposed a historic $1.5 trillion budget that will defend the nation and confront threats.
$1.5 trillion. Oh, my God. I can't believe that they say these numbers like it's a big joke. Well, $1.5 trillion, $500 billion of which will be dumped into Iran. Can we get some health care over here? No. We don't have money for that. You fucking freeloaders.
That's like Iran, which previous presidents allowed to happen, as Senator Graham pointed out. Previous administrations said they wanted to take care of this problem, and they did not, and he's doing it.
The question in front of the American people is, what are they being asked to give up for this $1.5 trillion? That's where I was talking about. And lastly, Mr. Secretary, your budget request cuts through Trump's ramblings and really, to me, makes the truth clear that you and the president don't value families as much as you value defense contractors. You want to increase the war budget.
I mean, every family at Dover. Okay, don't tell me we don't care about families. We sure do.
Mr.
And we take care of them in every way we possibly can.
I'm asking you about taxpayers.
No, you don't. You're a fucking liar. You don't care about Americans. You care about war, Barbarella. Oh, it's Jane Fonda. That's my favorite in the beginning of Barbarella when she's like, you have to make this happen. We haven't had a war in a really long time, and you got to go there with your powers and stop them. And here's a bunch of weapons. And she's like, all these weapons? War? You mean like armed conflict, fighting over the resolution of redistribution of resources? War, Barbarella, war! She doesn't understand the concept of war because all she knows is love. I love Barbarella. When Jane Fonda dies, our hope for peace on earth dies with her.
Dollars that everybody has. When we've been to war before, we've asked people to do victory gardens. We've asked them to pay more. You are not doing that. You are asking for $1.5 trillion, which means something else has to be given up. That is what this committee is looking at. You want to increase the war budget for the next year by $500 billion. That is taxpayer money that could be used to feed families or build new affordable homes or wipe out some diseases completely or increase child investments 20 times over. But you are asking us to blow it all.
Are you kidding me? She said that she didn't even know how sexy that spacesuit was until she saw it. And let me tell you, before you could look up porn everywhere all the time, that we were all surrounded by porn everywhere we go. That was like one of the sexiest things I ever saw. Barbarella floating around, like doing her spacesuit, putting on her spacesuit. My God. I was like, wowza, when I was a kid. I was just a little kid. First time I saw Barbarella. I couldn't believe it. You're allowed to show this on TV?
On war, and that's not even counting the money that you have spent bombing Iran or that you may still request in a separate supplemental. And to me, this budget wasn't even strategically crafted. $1.5 trillion is like the president decided that was the number and you all filled in the blanks. So what I'm here today to say is you ask for a massive laundry list of unnecessary spending. It's a huge payday for defense contractors, and you still don't even ask to give DOD civilian workers a pay raise. And to me, this is absurd. I know
DOD, it's DOW. That's why we can't give DOD people. It's the Department of War, Barbarella. It's the Department of War.
you do not care what I have to say. So let me quote you someone you might actually listen to, President Eisenhower.
Eisenhower.
Every gun that is made.
This guy doesn't know who Eisenhower is. He doesn't give a shit about. You think this motherfucker cares about Eisenhower? Eisenhower. This guy doesn't care. This guy fires generals because they're black, dude. This guy don't care. This guy changes the name of ships because he doesn't like that they're gay. There's a gay ship. It's named after a gay guy.
Every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. That is what this budget proposal is asking. It's going to leave Americans cold and hungry to fund Trump's war and make defense contractors a fortune. So that is why I hope this committee throws that in the trash and comes together with a budget that works for all American families. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you.
In the trash? I don't think so. They've got $1 trillion. They're not going to throw $1 trillion in the trash for these boys. We got to bomb Iran. No gay ships, man. Harvey Milk, SS Harvey Milk. It can't be SS Harvey Milk. What did they change the boat SS Harvey Milk to? What did they change it to? U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announced that the USNS Harvey Milk was officially renamed to USNS Oscar V. Peterson. Who is that? The John Lewis class replenishment oiler was renamed to honor Oscar V. Peterson, a Navy chief petty officer who posthumously received the Medal of Honor for his actions in the 1942 Battle of the Coral Sea in World War II. What? Yeah, anyway, there used to be an oiler called the Harvey Milk, but Harvey Milk was gay, so that wasn't warrior ethos enough, and so he renamed the boat. He renamed the boat. Japan is back. Japan's back, baby. Japan never left, honey doll. Never left. We don't care about American families in this administration. I mean, he said he doesn't care about the American. He doesn't care. Donald Trump said he doesn't even think about it. Are you thinking about the financial implications on the American family? Nah. Fuck no. No. I saw some interviews where the guy was interviewing people like that voted for Trump, and they're like, "Oh, this is horrible," but he doesn't really mean it. What the hell are you talking about? Like, how many times does Donald Trump have to say crazy shit for you to just believe that he's fucked up, that he believes the things he says? He doesn't actually believe that. He just says that stuff. Yeah, the warrior ethos. Come on, Stan Durko. They are clueless fools. They're marks. China offer 1% interest for all the real estate in the United States. Done deal. We go with who save our dollar. For the record, $40 trillion deficit. Donnie got $8 billion. Holy Nancy. Hey, let's give him more. Hey, $8 billion's not enough. We need to give Donald Trump more money. He needs more. He's not taking a paycheck, though, guys.
Peek into the future of what the U.S. economy is going to look like for us consumers.
Oh, I saw this lady. She explained. I was trying to explain this yesterday. And so yesterday I was trying to explain this, and I think that this lady did a great job. Let's watch.
Remember yesterday when I said this? And I think we need to brace ourselves for more of this financial hardship because there's no end in sight to the war. Well, today we got more evidence that more financial hardship, unfortunately, is likely coming for us all. The Producer Price Index report was released by the U.S. government this morning. That is the inflation report for wholesale goods and services. And that report found in the month of April, wholesale prices jumped 6% compared to April of last year. That is the largest increase we have seen since. That's
true. John Lewis was a famous human rights activist, a civil rights activist. Mm-hmm. John Lewis.
December of 2022, between March and.
So consumer price index 6% up, 1.4%. Like this shit. Hold on, I'm gonna rewind it. Hold on, give me a second. Let me do it again.
That is the inflation report for wholesale goods and services, and that report found in the month of April, wholesale prices jumped 6% compared to April of last year. That is the largest increase we have seen since December of 2022. Between March and April of this year, final demand was up 1.4%.
Since the year after COVID. This is the worst since COVID.
We're not expecting that big of a jump. This report is showing the increases are coming for both goods, which increased 2%, and services, which increased 1.2%. Now, why should you care about what producers are paying for goods and services?
I care, because I got to pay.
That's the peek into the future I'm talking about. Typically, those costs that producers pay get passed down to us consumers. It's certainly possible that producers will eat those increased costs, but history shows that's not normally what happens. These producers stick you and me with the costs, and then we start to see those increases show up in future consumer price index reports, which is the report I was talking about yesterday. That report showed in the month of April, inflation for consumers, you and me, jumped 3.8% year over year. So
it jumped to 3.8%. It didn't jump 3.8%. It jumped to 3.8%, which is a lot. It's not the worst. 3.8% is bad, though. Anything over 3% is insane. 3.8 is insane, but it's been around that. It's been like 3.2, 3.4. It's been like that for a while since COVID. So 3.8 is not good because it keeps going up, keeps creeping up. So when it gets to 4%, what are we going to do? Just not eat?
Reasonable to think that in the next few months, we are going to see inflation numbers for us jump up again as a result.
On the good side, we're all going to get skinny, right? I mean, I bet you're really excited. Man, maybe this is all RFK Jr.'s idea. Raise the prices higher. People will eat less. We'll all eat less. We'll be skinny. And autism will be less autistic. Autistic children, at least they'll be hot and svelte. Nobody hates an autistic person more than a fat autistic person. Fucking RFK Jr. This has got to be his idea. It's got to be. Do your apocalypse push-ups. I need to start getting fit, man. I got to start working out. Apocalypse is coming. Shit.
Of today's 6% producer number. Does that make sense? So I talked to the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago today. He is part of the group at the Federal Reserve who has input on what happens with interest rates. And he says he's concerned.
And so far, the job market has actually been kind of steady. But I
think you said stable but not great.
Good. Yeah, exactly. Stable without being good.
Yeah, it's like 4% or 4 something percent.
Inflation's not stable and not good. So I'm more concerned on the inflation side. And if it starts going off the rails, then
I'm okay, man. I had my sexual awakening when Kate Moss was big. So when Kate Moss was super famous, I was like 14 or 15. I was just starting to like really get into girls, And so, I'm all right. Sure. Let's have a food shortage. I hope you like skinny girls. I hope you like skinny girls because we're all about to get real fucking skinny. We're all going to get real skinny here. Should we, all of us, it'll be great because we'll still be buying bags of potato chips, but there's only like 6 chips in it. We'll all be like, we're like eating the crumbs at the bottom of the chip bag. We're fucked. I hope you like that heroin chic. Yes, the heroin look. Yeah, the heroin look. I can't believe I just said heroin and he's like heroin. Oh yeah, heroin chic. Other people are saying it. Yeah. I hope you like heroin chic, baby, because it's coming back. It's coming back in a major way. Not by choice. Not by choice. But hey, I'm a child of the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. So I like that heroin chic look. I don't know. I mean, it's not the end all be all. It's not like I demand that every woman is that thin or anything like that. But I tend to like them skinny. So I guess we're good. I guess I go Donald Trump. I love you, Donald Trump. Donald Trump's going to make women emaciated again. Make America emaciated again. I think the autistic kids should be skinny.
I think the Fed has got to consider options like even higher rates to try to stop the inflation.
Lastly, let's talk about why this is happening. Producer prices are going up largely because of higher energy costs, which of course are directly related to this war with Iran and disrupted shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. The conflict is putting a strain on the global supply chain and causing shortages of lots of important goods like fertilizers, aluminum, and consumer products. Now, I talked to President...
Fucking aluminum's killing me too, man. I went to go get a beer. I went to go get a 6-pack of beer of like Stone IPA, which isn't like an expensive beer. Like just last year, it was about $9.99, $10 for a 6-pack. I went to go buy a 6-pack of Stone IPA, which is a local-ish beer for me down here. It's a local beer. You probably have it. I think they have nationwide distribution now, but they're pretty well-known beer. It used to cost $10 for a 6-pack. And that was expensive because it's good beer. That was expensive because it's craft, right? Now it's $14. That's like a 40% increase. And they say it's because of the aluminum. Yeah, and like hops and barley are more expensive, but the aluminum's the thing. They're fucking tariffing the aluminum. It's really expensive. It's really annoying. Right now, it's GLP making heroin chic. Oh yeah, we don't need to make GLP. Is GLP? Is that making it? I don't know. Are skinny girls in again? I don't know. I don't know how it all. I don't keep up with all that shit, man. I don't really. I'm okay if other people do drugs, but I'm not really into it. Like if I had a girlfriend who was injecting herself with that shit every day, do they do it every day? How often do they do it? Let me ask. How often do people do someone who's on GLP-1? How often do they have to use it? Survey says, wow, the AI is really thinking about this one. Why is Google taking so long? Weird. Am I still online? Can you guys see me? You like them thick, parallelish, nice, nice, nice. Look, some people like them thick, some people like them skinny. Oh, it's once a week. They're intended for long-term they are intended for long-term or indefinite use to manage chronic weight or diabetes. Often takes as a weekly injection. While many users stop within a year due to costs or side effects, maintaining weight loss requires staying on a maintenance dose, though some users may successfully reduce frequency to every other week. What are the side effects? What are the side effects? Is it like shitting yourself? It's probably shitting yourself, right? It's got to be shitting yourself. The most common gastrointestinal issues, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Ooh, bowel changes, vomiting. Half of all users have nausea and vomiting. Alternating bouts of diarrhea and constipation. No. Fatigue, headaches, and mild dizziness. That ain't worth it. That ain't worth it. You might as well starve yourself. If you starve yourself, guess what? You get diarrhea. Why don't you just starve yourself? Why do the Ozempic? If you starve yourself, you get diarrhea, alternating bouts of diarrhea and constipation. You get vomiting and acid reflux because you have dry heaves and your stomach's full of acid. What else happens if you have fatigue, like dizziness and headaches? You get that when you starve yourself. You might as well just starve yourself instead of doing the Ozempic. Like it's cheaper. And you get the same results and the same side effects. Just starve yourself, or do the whole bulimia thing. Is it different? Like it's still an eating disorder, right? If I finger my throat to vomit and binge and purge, is that so different from injecting myself every week and having vomiting and diarrhea problems so I can be skinny? Isn't that the same thing? It suppresses hunger, though. So basically, it's just a way to starve yourself without. So it's still just starving yourself. So it's still just It's still just anorexia. Is that what it is? It just suppresses your hunger. So it basically is just a crutch for people with low willpower, people who want to starve themselves but don't want to have to actually starve themselves, don't have to make that decision. No one should do drugs. It's so nasty. Let me do what you want to do. Eat Taco Bell. You'll have the same thing. Yes. You have Crohn's, so you do many sick days. Yeah. It slows your digestion to a crawl. Oh. So you eat and then you digest more slowly. Interesting. Easy mode starve. It's starving with cheat codes. Yeah. You lost 80 pounds having Crohn's. I don't know. When I went vegan, I started running and I lost like 50 pounds right away, man. So I don't know. I lost like 50 pounds in that first 2 years. Wasn't that hard. I didn't even like feel starvation at all. I didn't even feel hungry ever. So go vegan. Like, fuck the man, fuck capitalism, and go vegan. I don't think Ozempic's the way to go.
Goals be all about the U.S.
But I guess like okay. I guess if you are diabetic, then go ahead and take the drugs, right? I mean, if you're diabetic, you're gonna die if you don't take these drugs, so do it. But I think a lot of people are taking this shit because they want to look heroin chic, right? They want to look cool. Like they want to. That makes sense. You lost 80 pounds in 6 months, damn.
Economy and what you need to know about it right now. We talked about whether we can trust the data coming out of the U.S. government. Of course, we talked about whether he's worried about President Trump's nominee, Kevin Warsh, taking over at the Federal Reserve. So if you want to watch that...
You cannot trust the government.
Have you had fast food lately? You might have noticed the cost.
Like when they tell me that the unemployment's 4% and it's the government telling me, I'm like, yeah, it's probably like 5 or 6%, right? Do you do that too? I don't believe them. I'm always like, oh yeah, the unemployment's at 4%. It's probably like 5, 6, 7, 8%, something like that. It's probably a little higher. I just automatically think that inflation's at 4%, 3.8%. It's probably at like 5%. I don't believe them.
Is a little bit more than normal. Well, one industry analyst says that they found average prices growing 39 to 100% just in the last decade. But Fox 26 business reporter Tom Ziska says the latest complaint is about what people are getting for their money. That seems to be shrinking, Tom.
Rashi, the short answer is they are getting a lot less in some cases. It's good old-fashioned shrinkflation where portions get smaller, trying to keep prices under control. This is something we have noticed in recent years in grocery stores, to be sure, but people are...
like, look at Reddit. Look, it's on Reddit. Let's look at Reddit, this news broadcast.
Blasting social media and message boards like Reddit with complaints about ever-shrinking burgers, nuggets, and burritos, just to name a few. Industry...
Dude, I'm stoked, man. Everyone's going to walk around looking like Kate Moss. Great. Smaller burgers. I love it. At the end of the day, we're really just making America great again. It used to be that burgers and burritos were smaller. Why are people... This is making America great again. In the old days, portions were smaller, man. If you look at like what you bought at McDonald's back in like 1957, you didn't have like all this shit. They didn't have like jumbo fries and massive Cokes. They had it's all little and cute. They fit in one little bag. Family of 4 eats out of one bag. These days, it's like you see these people buying shit at McDonald's. They got all these bags of stuff. My friend, he's got 3 kids, his mom and his wife. It's a family of 5. 6, because of him. Family of 6. He says he goes to McDonald's and spends over $100 to feed everybody. Woo! Get your Omaha steaks. Get your Trump steaks. Get your Trump steaks. Do it. Get your Trump steaks. Are you blasting 6G in the quad, bro? Man, I'm blasting 6G all day long. Weight loss stops to a point, then don't lose some more. I mean, I don't know. I hope heroin chic's coming back in a major way, everybody.
Experts say customers are not imagining things either. The pandemic really accelerated rising food, labor, and transportation
costs
that have put a lot of pressure on quick service restaurants, or QSRs in the lingo.
QSRs in the lingo. That's what it is. What we call them. We call them QSRs. But limited service restaurants are actually the fastest growing in the sector because QSR, everyone hates QSR, and limited service where you actually like go to a counter and they like bring it to your table, but there's no waiter. That's the fastest growing. We're probably all going to eat like that in the future, where we're going to go to a counter. I'd like this, please. What else do you like? Okay, that too. Yeah, that. And then you go sit down. They bring it to your table. That's the future. Yeah. QSR is going out. Limited service is coming in.
Stores open while trying not to irritate their
LSR.
customers too badly. They don't want customers thinking they're not getting value as portions have gotten smaller.
In all likelihood, what will happen, there'll probably be burger wars as companies are looking to take market share from each other.
Burger wars!
Think about the value meal and so 5 for $5 and things like that.
Love it.
Even there, if you think of a QSR as the corporate and then their franchisees, they can mandate that prices go down. But if franchisees start having a hard time fulfilling that, that's when, well, A, people go bankrupt, B, they revolt.
They revolt. I love this idea. Let's have burger wars. I think this is fantastic. I want to see a world with no McDonald's. Wouldn't it be great to see a world with no more McDonald's? Wouldn't you be happy? Like, don't you want to see a world where McDonald's goes out of business? Fuck McDonald's. Why do we still have McDonald's? Like, it was cool in the 50s, guys. It's over. It's not cool anymore. Stop going to McDonald's. I'd love to see a world with no McDonald's. I think the world would be a much better place with no McDonald's. I'd love to see that. Like Kmart. People thought that Kmart was forever. It's not. It's gone. I haven't seen a Kmart in years. I hear there's a few. But Blockbuster, we thought that was forever. It's not. Why does McDonald's have to be forever? Get rid of it. Fuck them. They did that at Popeyes already? Yeah, baby. Burgers and war. I can't think of anything more American. Twisted Hippie, you nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. Are we bring back diners again? Yeah, let's bring back the diners, man. Let's bring back anything except for McDonald's. Let's just get rid of McDonald's. How about that? Fuck them. Get rid of all fast food. Look at this piece of shit. Like, what do you want to eat? When you see that building, that looks like food to you. I look at that building and it says danger, red, yellow, danger. Don't come in here. We're trying to kill you in here. Do not come in. That looks like a welcoming building to you. This fucking concrete slab. Looks disgusting.
One of the big complaints, if you look at all of these social media posts, is the McDonald's filet of fish. I bought one. It's $5. I don't know what volume of fish is in this, but it's a tiny sandwich.
Bro, $5. What the fuck do you want for $5? $5. Looks like a fair amount of fish to me. How many fish do you want for $5, you cheap piece of shit? $5. Somebody had to die for that. Somebody had to make it. Someone had to ship it. They had to advertise it. They had to have someone serve it to you. They had to pay for a box and a piece of paper to wrap it with. $5. Seems like a fair price to me. What the fuck are you complaining about, bitch? Cry more. Cry more, motherfucker.
Just the impression is tiny. Nick Neonakis there says the tipping point for customers is deciding whether or not this experience is worth the price they put into it.
$5. What do you want? If you want to pay less, go to the supermarket. Make your own shit. Well, I don't have time because I'm working too much for my boss. Tell your boss to go fuck himself. What are you doing?
If that tips, there are going to be some restaurants that may not
kill your boss.
Survive, or at least have trouble surviving. We're watching with you. I'm Tom Zisco, Fox 20.
Wow, they'll have trouble surviving, guys, because people don't want to spend $5 on a piece of animal flesh made by a human being and then stuck together and put into a bag. And they had to bring it from someplace. Like, that shit had to come out on trucks. I see McDonald's trucks all over. Like, the logistics involved. Like, there are people whose full-time job it is just to watch the trucks travel around America bringing the paper product and frozen animal pieces to McDonald's all around America. That's their job. I don't know. I feel like just make it in a lab. There you go. McDonald's is horrible. Of course, $5 for 3 bites. How big is your mouth? That was 3 bites? It wasn't $5. You want more bites? Make it at home. Go be your own man. Be your own woman. Why are you depending on corporations to feed you? Jesus. Like, if you are depending on corporations to fish the animal out of the sea, blend it up into a million pieces, form it into a little thing, bring that shit to Arkansas, wherever the fuck they were, and then put it into a bag and put the bread and the tartar sauce. They made all that shit. They made all of that. And then finally it gets to you in your car. And you're like, $5? It's crazy. $5 for this? $5? Thanks, Joe Biden. For some reason, this is Joe Biden's fault. Yeah, it isn't really bread. It isn't really bread. You're right. It ain't quite bread. I doubt there's any yeast product in it. It's like they use some kind of foaming agent or something. Yeah, I only buy fish, ground turkey, and ground chicken. $30 a month. I eat salads more than anything. Stan Durko, stop killing animals. When are you coming to Afghanistan, brother? Man, I'm coming. I'll be right there. I'll be right there. Just wait for me. I'll be right there. I'm coming. Don't you worry. I'm coming right there. Why would I go to Afghanistan again? I don't like Afghanistan. I ain't going to Afghanistan. I think women deserve rights. It's crazy. Hey, look, Marco Rubio's going to say something. Hey, everybody, let's check in with Marco. Little Marco Rubio. Remember when Donald Trump called him that?
The objective of this mission is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and of their naval capabilities.
Okay.
Hi again, everybody. It's now 5 o'clock in New York.
That's unequivocal. Yeah, that's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Our job is to destroy nuclears.
Happened moments before we came on the air, or while we were on the air. We took it live. And we largely viewed Marco Rubio as the most trustworthy messenger in that moment about why we were in Iran. Not everybody said the same thing, but that's what Marco Rubio said back in March. Marco Rubio, of course, is Donald Trump's Secretary of State. He's also his national security advisor, and he could not have been more clear in his public statements.
Little Marco.
The objective of this mission, the war in Iran, is the destruction of Iran's ballistic missile capabilities, end quote. Well, now, as Donald Trump ramps up his attacks on the free press, on journalists and journalism, accusing them of, quote, virtual treason, it's a quote from Donald Trump, for reporting on the war.
What's virtual treason? Virtual treason for reporting on the war. That's not a war.
Another one of his stated reasons for starting this deeply unpopular war of choice with Iran officially bites the dust, is no more. Brand new reporting from multiple outlets reveals that Iran's military is far from crippled. After weeks of war, the deaths of 13 U.S. service members, U.S. bases across the Middle East rendered, quote, all but uninhabitable. According to the New York Times, not to mention a devastating blow to U.S. prestige and standing around the world, U.S. intelligence shows that barely a dent has been made in the Iranian regime's capacity to wage war. A U.S. official with knowledge of recent intelligence assessments confirms reporting first.
How is that possible? I don't know. How is it possible? Like, okay, the New York Times and other are saying that we haven't even made a dent in the military of Iran. Is that even possible? We're spending billions of dollars. We're going to spend $500 billion, and we haven't even come close. We haven't made a dent. How is that possible? I don't believe it. Is your bullshit meter on? Because that sounds like bullshit to me. You're telling me I'm supposed to believe that we are bombing the ever-loving hell out of Iran. We killed all of their leaders, and we haven't made a dent in their military capabilities? Is that possible? News reporting from U.S. intelligence sources. How could this be more obviously propaganda? Yeah, right? It seems like total propaganda, yeah. They had a lot of drones and rockets. Yeah, I know it's just for oil, but yeah, that's not what I'm thinking about, though. How could you say with a straight face that we have dropped? Like, you see the footage, you see the pictures of just rubble. You're telling me that all those people that we've killed, thousands and thousands of people are dead. All those little kids are dead. All of those bombs are dropped. All those boats are sunk. And we haven't even made a dent? Sounds like somebody is saying we need more money, and so we haven't made a dent because it's harder than we thought. But that's an embarrassment, right? That's a real big embarrassment if it's true.
The Washington Post to our colleague David wrote that, quote, about 70% of Iran's mobile missile launchers remain viable throughout the country. Iran has also retained roughly 70% of its pre-war missile stockpile, which is believed to be comprised of long-range ballistic and short-range cruise missiles. The recent intelligence reports found Iran has restored access to 30 of the 33 missile sites it controls along the Strait of Hormuz, which could be used to target American warships and oil tankers transiting the strategic waterway. These findings directly contradict what Donald Trump and his cabinet have been saying for weeks now.
Their missiles are mostly decimated. They have some, they're probably 18, 19%, but not a lot by comparison to what they had.
Okay, so the newspapers are saying 70% they still have. He's saying they have 19%. So they probably have like 60 or 50%.
Their missile launching capability has been substantially degraded.
Their ability to launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed.
They have some missiles, but not very many. I think we're in very good shape.
The ceasefire itself looking fragile. Donald Trump himself saying that it is, quote, on life support. The potential remains.
I think that's the same thing. Yeah, I think that they want to leave room to get more money. Because they're begging for more money, and so they leaked this. Oh yeah. We hardly made a dent. We need more money. Has to be, right? Have you watched any of the UFO vids? Are really aliens? I don't think so. Yeah, man, I watched a lot of them, but it just seems like bullshit. It just seems like it's always this stuff. Aliens. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Now that the government is telling me that there's aliens, now I really don't believe it. I didn't really believe it anyway. Now that the government's saying that there's probably aliens walking among us, I'm even now like, I believe it even less. But fucking supposed to believe that the aliens are here, walking around, hanging out, watching basketball. Are they Lakers fans? Like, what are they doing? The fuck are they doing? And it's just like, come on. Do you believe it? You believe aliens are out here walking around with us, just hanging out, having sex? Yeah, it's nonsense. It's ridiculous. And I believe it, like, I never believed it, but like, I believe that, like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, you know, mathematically, certainly there are other species on other planets, sure. But like flying around our atmosphere and hanging out with John Lennon or something, hanging out with Elvis and Biggie and Tupac. I mean, let's face it, this is just, Tupac's alive, guys. He's hanging out with Biggie Smalls in Fiji.
It's for renewed combat phase in this conflict in which the U.S. military is now in a tough spot. New York Times reports this, quote, the U.S. military has already depleted its stocks of many critical munitions, yet the intelligence suggests that Iran retains considerable military capability, including around the vital Strait of Hormuz. If Trump ordered commanders to launch more strikes or take out or diminish those Iranian capabilities, then the U.S. military would have to dig even deeper into stocks of critical munitions, end quote.
Yeah.
U.S. intelligence undercutting one of Donald
Well, that I think is probably true. Like, because we know how many bombs we're buying. I think that part's probably pretty true. We know how many bombs America buys. We know how many bombs America makes. We know how many bombs America's using. So that's just a simple math problem. Yeah, we're running out of bombs, which again leads us to, well, they're going to kill everyone in Taiwan. And as a guy who spent a lot of time in Taiwan, I think it's very sad. I think it's fucked up. But we're going to watch Taiwan go away. We're going to watch Taiwan no longer be there. We got front row tickets because Donald Trump is not going to do anything about Taiwan.
goals for the war with Iran is where we start the hour. Retired U.S. Army Brigadier General Steve Anderson is back with us. With me here at the table, senior national security reporter David Rode.
Wait a second. You're skeptical about space? What are you skeptical about space? When, like, space doesn't exist? What do you mean I'm skeptical about space? What do you mean? I mean, we've sent people up there, and they brought shit back. We watched them go up. Like, we just have video of people up there and stuff. We've been up there lots of times in the space. It sounds like such like the American thing to do. Like, hey, we want to go to space. How are we going to do it? Well, we're going to put a bunch of fossil fuels in a tank, and we're going to blow that shit up, and we're going to shoot someone out into the atmosphere, out into the clear blue sky, and out into space. Makes sense to me. I don't know why you would be.
Also joining us, Paul Reichoff. He's the host of the Independent Americans podcast and the founder and CEO of Independent Veterans of America. David, just take me through the reporting. I mean, this story exploded about 22 hours ago, first in the New York Times. You've corroborated this reporting and added some context of your own. Just take me through the
Beaver Bay. Look, man, Beaver Bay, I'm taken, okay? Please stop hitting on me. I'm taken, Beaver Bay.
Actual reporting.
This is fantastic journalism. I first want to say this is our job as journalists is to, like, is our government waging war properly? Are the 50,000 service members risking their lives being served by their leadership? So it was the Washington Post first last week that came out with a 70% of the stockpile of Iran's missile stockpile surviving. That was a surprising number. There were early reports of like 30% of it being buried, 30% of it being destroyed.
And the number Trump was using was 18 to 19%.
Yes.
So the Washington Post revelation about 70% seems to stir up reporting about how that's possible, and it's that they shuttered some of the...
Exactly.
Okay, explain that.
So there was a great thing that your team was done a great job. That the issue was that the U.S. only had a certain number of these very expensive bunker buster bombs that would go in, hit the underground storage facilities, and destroy everything inside them. And instead, they used smaller bombs to just seal those underground storage areas.
Ooh, they sealed
the Iranians
them.
Apparently, through the ceasefire, have gone in, dug into those storage areas, and pulled out now. And we thought it'd be 60%. It's 70% of their missile stockpile. That's shocking. The mobile launchers, these are trucks that move around with the long-range ballistic missiles. That's a big threat to Israel. It's stunning that 70% of those have survived. They must have hid them. And then what you mentioned, the Strait of Hormuz is amazing. They built 33 of these specialized sites where they could fire on ships into the strait, whether it was U.S. Navy vessels or tankers. They've restored, again, I think they dug them out, 31 of the 33. It's an amazing setback for the U.S. war in Iran.
Okay, so we're not winning the war. Cool. Looks like they've successfully embarrassed a superpower once again. It doesn't take much to embarrass a superpower, by the way. Making war, a bullet can create a new enemy as much as it can take out an enemy. Every baby that you kill with a bullet or a bomb creates, tenfold new enemies. We're basically churning out new people who hate America. We're like, we're going to kill you because you said death to America. And then we kill a bunch of babies, and then we're surprised that there are more people saying death to America. Why does that keep happening? And so we keep doing it. And we're embarrassed every time. Like we did to Vietnam. Right, we got another Vietnam on our hands. Wonderful. We'll just keep bombing and bombing and bombing and bombing, and they'll keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. We'll keep bombing and bombing and bombing and bombing and bombing, and they'll keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. And we, it's like we want to be like Russia. Russia has Ukraine, so we got to have our own Ukraine. Let's go to the Middle East again. Let's go to the Gulf states. Let's pick one. Let's pick a Gulf state out of the hat and start a war. That's what we're good at. Stunning. Yeah, stunning, Bill
The
Rhodes.
impact of the ongoing closure of the Strait of Hormuz is extending well beyond oil as some 2,000 ships wait to transport a variety of essential goods around the world. That includes key ingredients for producing fertilizer, causing new concern for farmers and the risk of food shortages for millions of people. MS Now international reporter Ines de la Cuetera has more.
Year after year, hard work pays off at Hugo Farms in the countryside of Kent in the UK. A summer burst of strawberries.
These were planted last year in July. We took one crop off them. And then we overwintered them, and now they just started harvest.
But this year, the typically sunny harvest season, clouded by a conflict thousands of miles away. The deadlock in the Strait of Hormuz has seen gas prices rise, while fertilizer supplies are dwindling.
Just looking at it,
it doesn't matter. Americans don't eat strawberries anymore. Americans, we're not. We don't eat fresh fruit in America anymore. We have no one to pick them.
this crop, we need to get a certain output, and without fertilizers, we wouldn't be able to do that. You know, the flavour wouldn't be as good, and the productivity would be lower. So it's just not sustainable.
It's just not
the impact
sustainable.
is being felt by farmers around the world.
It's just not sustainable.
We go to a mill in the UK and be milled up for flour to go into bread.
But the concerns are even greater for arable farmers.
It's essential. Without fertiliser, we'd have a very pale, very small crop here. It wouldn't yield.
Experts are sounding the alarm. The World Food Programme warning that if the crisis doesn't finish by the end of June, 45 million people will be at risk from hunger and starvation worldwide. Those who already don't have enough to eat, likely to pay the price for a standoff they have no control of.
45 million people might die because of Donald Trump. How many millions of people has Donald Trump killed now? How many millions?
Is always preventable. Famine is always a man-made, human-made crisis.
And for countries already experiencing catastrophic levels of food insecurity, even a quick resolution may not be enough to avoid the worst outcomes.
For some, it's already too late. Even if supplies were to start flowing today, it takes time to ship and to bring to market these critical inputs. Even with immediate action, we're already going to see an increase in humanitarian need.
In the U.S., that could mean higher prices at the grocery store, as some farmers may pass the costs on to consumers.
Why do they always say may? Some businesses may pass the price on to the consumer. What do you mean may? Do they not have no fucking basic understanding of economics? These stupid maggers. They always do this. It's like these corporate news outlets. They may raise prices because some of these producers may pass that cost on to the consumer. That's how the economy works. That's just how capitalism works. And you guys are all for capitalism, right? You love this shit. It's all about blackberries now. Blackberries you can grow for free. Maybe that's what you get. They got the thorns though. We got thorns. I guess we should be growing blackberries, huh? I need some raised beds. When I move, I need to buy some raised beds, huh? I need to buy some of those. What do you call them? Raised vegetable garden beds. I need to buy those so I can grow vegetables.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics shows prices in April rose 3.8% from a year earlier, marking an increase from the year-over-year inflation rate of 3.3%. But back on the farm, Tom Sewell says raising prices is not an option, given the strong competition from around the world.
We grow this crop of wheat, just like someone in Ukraine or Argentina or Australia or Brazil or whatever. So we can't just say to them.
Oh, did you say Ukraine? Did everyone forget that Ukraine also controls, it's like the second largest growing region in Europe? Oopsie daisy.
Consumer will put the price up because they can go blind.
Too bad Ukraine's at war too. Oh, gee whiz.
While many farmers had already purchased fertilizer for the year before the war broke out, the effects could become more obvious in time. So Tom says wheat farmers are now talking about potentially not planting their fields next year.
You're absolutely right. The Republicans don't get that. Well, MAGAs don't understand this, right? These companies get rebates back for tariffs. Yeah, they're going to get their money back, but you and we don't get our money back. They'll get their money back. And we have to pay for that, by the way. The taxpayer pays for the rebate. And the consumer paid for the increase originally. So unfortunately, the consumer and the taxpayer are the same person, so you got fucked twice. Awesome. Thank you, Donald Trump. Great work. Best American president.
Economics of growing a crop of wheat now is so tight that some farmers are saying, well, you know, we could leave it fallow for a year and lose less money than growing a crop and losing a lot of money.
Not sure if I'm going to grow much with that heat. What, in New Mexico? Albuquerque doesn't get that hot. Albuquerque. Let me look at. What's the temperature like? What's the climate like of Albuquerque, New Mexico? Highs of 90 to 95 in the summers. It's like here. It's like where I live now. Winters are short and cold and sunny. Sometimes it gets down to the lowest is 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a little super cold for me. Spring is famously windy, and late summer brings in a brief monsoon season. The summer, June, hot and dry. Sunny days often get up into the 90s, occasionally hitting 100, just like here. Nights are comfortable, dropping into the 60s, just like here. Sunny but cold in the winter. Highs are usually in the 40s and 50s. That's fucking cold, man. It's like 10, 15 degrees colder than it gets here. I'm a little bit afraid of the winter, to be honest with you. Spring and fall, known for being mild, sunny, and pleasant. Though spring can be quite windy and dusty. I kind of like that in the spring in the desert, though. I kind of like that. So hopefully I'll like it. Precipitation very dry, only about 8 to 10 inches of rain annually. Snowfall is light, with an average of 9 inches a year. It usually goes away quickly. Very cute. I love snow that goes away fast. I love that shit. Defining features large daily fluctuations, often 30 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit difference between day and night. They call that a diurnal shift. The diurnal shift is going to be different. I wish they would just use words that we should all know on fucking... Anyway, as of mid-May 2026, the temperature is warm and sunny. The daily high is expected to get into the mid or upper 80s and overnight lows high 50s. I love it. Sounds good. I know Johnny Vegan said, but I've okay. So I used to live in Las Vegas. Yeah, the desert Southwest has monsoon seasons. Even Vegas has monsoon season. It's just high pressure from all the low pressure because all the heat. It gets hot, and the heat like pushes up all the clouds, and all the water like is coming out of the earth, and so you get these big thunder clouds, and they dump rain on you. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty cool though. Have fun. Maria Jimena, are you making fun of me? An honest doubter, thank you so much. Maria Jimena, are you being mean? Don't be mean to me. I got enough to go on my mind. Thank you so much, An Honest Doubter. You're the best. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Thank you, An Honest Doubter. Thank you, Smoking Blondie, for supporting the channel today. This hour is brought to you by... This show's been... Okay, thank you, Maria. I'm glad. Okay, I don't know. Why does have fun sound so sarcastic these days? Everything on the internet sounds sarcastic. It's the thing. We've had drought and days over 100. We couldn't water enough to keep things from scorching. There's got to be something you can grow in your garden. People grow gardens all over the world. I mean... There's got to be something you can grow. I don't care if it's prickly pears. I'll grow some fucking prickly pears, okay? I'll grow some prickly pear cactus, and I'll eat the prickly pears. I think you can eat them. I've eaten a prickly pear before. Maybe I'll just grow some nopales, and I'll make some nopales tacos. Tacos de nopales. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll figure it out. I'll ask AI right now. What kinds of things do residents of Albuquerque, New Mexico grow in their backyard gardens? I shouldn't have said things. I should have said food. Heat-tolerant vegetables and drought-resistant fruit trees thrive in the high desert backyard gardens due to the region's intense sunshine and high altitude. Gardeners successfully grow a wide variety of crops by utilizing drip irrigation, shade cloth, and organic soil amendments to combat the alkaline clay soil and intense summer heat. They can grow peppers, tomatoes, squash and melons, beans and corn in their backyards. Okay. Root vegetables like carrots, beets, garlic, onions. Nice. Fruits and berries. Stone fruits like peaches, plums, apricots, sour cherries. Excellent yields. Figs. I love figs. A fig for thee. Grapes. Table and wine grapes tolerate alkaline soil and hot summers easily. Jujubes are Chinese dates that grow great out there, I guess. Never heard of them. Jujubes? I know like the cinema at the movie theater, jujubes. Perennial herbs, okay, oregano, thyme, rosemary, they thrive year-round and minimal water once established, great. Annual herbs like basil, cilantro, dill, love it, great. Sometimes they require partial shade in July. Sunflowers, bee balm, and desert marigolds are frequently platted to attract local pollinators. There you go. There you go, man. You could grow shit, man. I'm growing shit. I'm going to grow some shit. Eat figs, not pigs. Yeah. I wonder if they can grow avocados out there. What if I bought an avocado tree? They're expensive, but man, then you get free avocados. What about an avocado tree in the backyard? Could that work? Okay, let's see if that works. No, growing an avocado tree directly in Albuquerque backyard will not work. Albuquerque sits at the USD hardening zone 7B, meaning winter temperatures regularly drop too low for them. Even the cold hardy Mexican avocados like Mexicola and Joey can tolerate only brief deep dips. Once fully mature, a typical Albuquerque winter will permanently kill an outdoor avocado tree. Damn it. What about with a greenhouse? Can I do that? Yes, an avocado tree can survive and fruit in Albuquerque if grown inside a climate-controlled greenhouse. However, you cannot use a basic unheated plastic structure because Albuquerque's intense high desert climate and greenhouse must actively combat two extremes. Dang it. So avocados are out. Fuck. Oh well. Yeah, maybe I'll build a greenhouse. I don't know. I figured that. Avocado, they say it's too cold, not too hot. It's too cold for the avocado. Not too hot. That's what I figured. I thought they could take the heat, but they can't take the cold. But yeah, I guess it gets too cold in the winter, so the avocado tree's going to die. But hey, I'll figure it out, man. I don't need avocados. I just thought that, just had an idea. I don't need an avocado. I barely ever eat avocados anyway. They're too expensive.
And with no end in sight to the deadlock in the Middle East, the fear is the consequences here will only worsen in the months ahead. Inez de la Quatera, MS Now, Kent, England.
I do love avocados, though.
All right, so Steve Ratner, talk a little bit more, if you could, about the economic impact of what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz, but also how China could help with...
Oh, yeah, maybe you put them on wheels, you bring them in, right? You put them on wheels and you bring them in. That's a perfect idea, Maria. I'll put those fuckers on wheels and wheel them in the wintertime. Perfect.
This, and what would that look like?
Well, the Strait of Hormuz, as we know, being closed is a huge problem. And as your piece just said, it's not just oil, although oil is a very big part of it. If you talk about oil, what's going on out there is that we are drawing down world inventories very, very quickly, which means that prices are just going to continue to go up. It also means that even if the strait reopens, it's going to take a good while to unwind all of this. There are a whole different set of kinds of reports about how much damage has been done to oil facilities in the Middle East. We don't really know. At least I don't really know. They're not saying publicly. And that may have an impact on future oil production. But as the report said, a lot of other things like fertilizer and plastics and things and chemicals come through the Gulf. And not having those supplies is going to create world disruption. You saw our consumer price index report 2 days ago, and you saw our producer price report yesterday. And those are really tough numbers, and they're just simply going to show inflation rising over the next few months at least. And that's going to put the Fed in an unusual position. So none of this is really good for us or for the rest of the world. In terms of China, look, I'll defer to Richard on some of this too, but China obviously gets, as I said before, 30% of its oil roughly through the strait. So they have a huge incentive to get this thing open. That said, they don't seem to be doing a heck of a lot to actually accomplish that.
Why should they? Fuck them. China's like, fuck you. Like, if you were China right now, wouldn't you be like, yeah, fuck you? Like, if I were China, I'd be like, fuck you. I wouldn't care, because at the end of the day, they dug that grave, and America's biting. Like, the Chinese people are not going to cry. The American people are already crying. The Chinese people are going to be like, well, looks like it's hard times ahead. They're tougher than we are. They're way tougher than we are. Healthcare, not bombs. Love it, Christian. Great. I love it. Avocado toast is delicious. Joyous 777. You're absolutely right, man. I love avocados. I barely ever eat them because they're too expensive these days. But when I was a kid in California, an avocado cost 25 cents growing up. We used to run, man, there used to be this, over on this Indian reservation nearby my house, kind of nearby. It's a couple, like maybe an hour away or something. There's this place called Pachanga. It's a casino, and now it's big and looks like a Las Vegas casino now. But when I was a kid, it did not look like a Las Vegas casino. It just looked like one of those permanent tents. Anyway, we used to go out there, and because they didn't really check IDs and stuff back in the old days when you went to go to Indian casinos, and we would go out there and hang out, but on this highway, you could pull over to the shoulder, jump out of your car, run, and there were wild avocados growing on the sides of the highway. We could just go out and pick avocados as fast as we could because cars are zooming by, and you're not supposed to do this shit. You're not supposed to, it's no stopping anytime. But we would do it, and we'd get all these avocados, and we'd zoom away, man. It was California. Growing up in California I'm so glad I did. I'm feeling very nostalgic about it right now because I'm about to leave forever. I'm probably never going to be there. President Reagan, they're 33 cents there? Where do you live? 33 cents? That's impossible. Where do you live? You live in Mexico? Where do you live where an avocado costs 33 cents? Even in when they're in season in California now, they cost like $1.25. When I was a kid, they cost a quarter. Fucking quarter. You grew up in Temecula. It's wild. My aunt lives over there. I didn't grow up in Temecula, but I had really close friends that lived in Temecula. Yeah, I grew up in L.A. It's so funny you say Temecula. When I grew up in L.A. and like this family that we were really close with, we moved to Orange County and they moved to Temecula. So I spent a lot of time in Temecula, like in my high school days. And we used to go. Temecula was like they still had a tractor. The biggest thing every year was the tractor pull in Temecula. That was like it's so crazy to me. In the 90s, man, Temecula was like not what it is today. It was still the 909 back then. It was the 909. The Ozarks? Avocados cost 33 cents in the Ozarks? That sounds like bullshit, but drunk casino kids steal avocados. Well, they were wild. They were wild. Pachanga Indians do get the bag. Yes, they do. Pachanga Indians are making money for sure. Yeah, they're well taken care of. Florida has all the free fruit and mushrooms too. Yeah, California you could still see free oranges, some citrus. You still see free citrus out there, but not very often. Not like the old days. Not like the old days. Yeah. Anyway, best recipe for guac, go. Ooh, the big question about guac is, do you put any cumin in your guac? How much garlic do you put? I mean, I put garlic, lime, salt, two serranos, and I usually put a couple scoops of vegan sour cream in there because I think it makes it nice and creamy and cuts it up. It cuts up all the avocados, so it's not quite so damn chunky. It's not like you're eating a meal with every. So, I don't know. And sometimes I stick a little cumin in there. I do. Gives it like a weird, like a little, something little, kind of brings out the spice. I don't know, something, just a little bit. Onions, I like putting onions in there. Yeah, I know. It's a weird, when I was in the restaurant business, sometimes, cumin, just a little, just like a teaspoon. Yeah. The serranos are a necessary component. When I worked at Las Brisas, it was this high-end, like super high-end Mexican concept, and their recipe was shit. It was avocado, Hass avocado, 100% Hass avocado, California, and salt and lime juice. That's it. And people were like, this is the best ever, fucking white people. It was just, to me, it was bland. But we sold so much of it. And it cost us so much to make because we're scooping out the avocados by hand. And it's just like, it's cut with nothing. It's all avocado. You go Scotch bonnet peppers and dry them for pepper flake. Ooh, that's probably so spicy. Yeah, it's totally boring. It was unbelievable. I was like, what are we doing? And also, it's boring and expensive. And there'd still be white people in the fucking restaurant telling me it's spicy. And it's like, there's literally nothing spicy. Salt is spicy. There's literally nothing. It's salt, lime juice, and avocado. It's 3 ingredients. And you're telling me it's spicy? Oh, and they would put cotija cheese on there too, which always pissed me off. They put cotija cheese on. It was so gross. Because, like, traditionally, they do not put cotija cheese on fucking... Anyway, that's a whole other... I'm not going to go... We're not going to go into... We can't talk about all these things in the morning time. Aren't you hungry already?
Sandra? No, doing just okay. Flying through Wednesday. I'm Sandra Smith. It has been.
It's been a long week for you so far.
You too, John. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. So we are waiting to hear from Vice President Vance any moment now. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that he has issued a new ultimatum to states addressing fraud or lose federal Medicaid funding. And Reuters is reporting the White House has stopped granting Medicare enrollments for new home health care and hospice providers.
All right, let's bring in Chris Rufo, Manhattan Institute senior fellow. What
This
we really
fucking
wanted to
guy.
talk to you about here is what's going on in California. And this is that Governor Gavin Newsom just awarded a $189 million contract to provide new digital tablets to every inmate in the California prison system at no cost. And many of them, apparently, are not watching what the California government wants them to watch, which would be...
They're not watching what the government wants them to watch? If you don't watch what the government wants you to watch...
educational things, because you...
They're watching porn on death row? So what? Like, I don't know why people are so upset about this. This is like this big story right now. They gave people in prison tablets, and some of them are watching porn. Of course they're watching porn. The fuck else are they supposed to do? They're in goddamn prison. What are they going to do?
We've got this new article in the City Journal, watching porn on California's death row under GAP.
Do you think this is new, that porn just came to prisons? I mean, is this something new? Should I clutch my pearls? Wait, they're watching porn in prison? I'm guessing people would kill for porn in prison. I'm guessing people would trade everything for porn in prisons. I'm guessing that there's a huge porn black market in prison. I bet you they smuggle porn videos up their butts in order to get more porn into prisons. Of course there's porn in prisons. It's a bunch of dudes hanging out. I mean, I hope that they give them more porn. Maybe they'll watch porn and not kill each other. That would be cool.
Newsom, state prisoners are turning taxpayer-funded tablets into personal sex machines. What is going on?
That's a question that many people are asking, John. And what's happening is this. Gavin Newsom, despite warnings from prison officials, agreed to a $189 million contract to provide these tablets for all inmates. And we interviewed a dozen death row inmates, rapists, murderers, child molesters, all of the most kind of horrific crimes imaginable. And they told us very straightforwardly, prisoners are using them to watch pornography, to have X-rated video chats with people on the outside.
X-rated video chats? No! What are they? Human beings?
In at least one case, a prisoner was using it to groom and abuse a minor girl on the outside. Thankfully, he's now facing trial. But the big question...
Okay, so you caught him and he's going to... So he committed a crime with the internet, so now he's going to jail even longer? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, you caught him, though. So he broke the law on the internet, and then you caught him probably because you're monitoring everything these assholes do?
Is this. Why on earth is Gavin Newsom providing personal pornography devices to every inmate in the state of California?
Gavin Newsom? Did Gavin Newsom write this check? I think the people of California... Anyway, whatever.
Well, one particular case that you highlight here in the City Journal, you say this. In the 1980s, a rapist and serial murderer named Robert Morey earned the nickname the Tipster Killer for calling in anonymous tips identifying the locations of the dead bodies
in the 1980s
he left behind. During this period, he killed a woman by strangling her with a nylon clothesline, strangled and killed another two women, and brutally raped a fourth before he was caught by authorities. Now Morey is living in a state prison facility in Stockton, California, where he has viewed pornography on his taxpayer-funded digital tablet. In an interview, Morey told us inmates can receive nude pictures and watch pornography through their devices. In his case,
no! Maybe if he had access to pornography back in the 80s, he wouldn't have done all those nasty things. Maybe. I'm not saying that porn would help everybody, but maybe it would help some people. I think porn's kind of gross. I think it's got a lot of problems. I think a lot of people are trafficked in porn. I think a lot of people are being trafficked for porn. I think it's probably, I remember a while back when Pornhub had their scandal, and they were like, so many of the videos were actually crime scenes. There was crimes being committed, and I was like, internet porn is, I don't know what we're supposed to do about it. I don't know. But I think that since it exists, and it ain't going anywhere anytime soon, doesn't it make sense that the people in prisons watch it? If anybody should be watching it, should be those guys, right?
he claimed to have received a topless photo from a 22-year-old German psychology student who was, quote, hoping that I would share my story with her for her class project.
Okay.
After the student sent the photo, Morey said he flirted with her for a while.
Oh, no.
Chris, are the checks and balances here?
Where are the checks and balances here? They're not allowed to watch pornography. Where are the checks and balances? She was 22 years old and she wanted to show a prisoner her tits. That's on her, man. She wants to show prisoners her tits. That's also been going on since the dawn of time. People have been showing their tits to prisoners for a very long, since photographs were invented, for sure. People have been smuggling in pictures of tits probably long before. I bet you in the olden days, they probably had like drawings of tits. They probably had drawings that they were like, oh man, he drew the best set of tits. I can't wait to see what that guy's drawing. Surely. Oh my God, she showed her, the 22-year-old girl showed an inmate her tits.
Well, there really are none. And of course, the state claims that these are secure devices, that they monitor the...
Yes, that's the other thing, Damir is so right. Almost everyone in prison are just normal people who got caught up in some bullshit. And there's a lot of innocent people sitting in those fucking prisons who just said they were guilty because they couldn't afford a defense, because they couldn't put up a defense. They knew they were going to get crushed. They said they were guilty, so instead of getting 10 years, they get 2. That happens all the time. They're innocent. A lot of people are innocent, fucking rotting away. A lot of people were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. A lot of people got the police create crimes in order to entrap people. All of these things. Boys these days watch the same amount of porn in a year that most men used to see in their lifetime. I wonder if that's true. Sounds true. Sounds true. I guess, like, I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't know how people watch so much porn. It's like, I don't get it. I used to think porn was like people watch it for like 15 minutes maybe. But no, people are watching it all day, I guess. People are just watching it all day long. That's what I think is crazy. So when you say that like a person, I think that's the thing that's so wild to me, Maria, that most the boys these days watch the same amount of porn as a man used to see in their lifetime. I think that's true because as an older man, I generally don't watch much anyway, but even when I do, it's like 15 minutes. I don't sit there and watch it all fucking day. I got shit to do. You know what I mean? Even the digital, when VHS was around, people were watching it. People would watch the VHS. So in the olden days, when I used to go to the DVD rental place an independent place, not Blockbuster, you'd go to the DVD rental place or the VHS rental place, and they had that back room. And there'd always be the same guys there. And they would always be renting out more and more and more. You'd always see them renting out new. So there always were people that were addicted to that shit, right? Because even when I was a kid, I never went, but you'd always see the same dudes in that room checking out videos, waiting in line with you and putting their disgusting, with all the images on the VHS case and everything. I shouldn't say disgusting. I mean, I don't know. I found it gross. I'm sex positive. People want to watch porn. I don't give a shit. But it seems weird that people are watching it all day long, and a lot of people are watching it all day long. That's weird. You know? You're calling bullshit. What are you calling is harmful to all? I mean, clearly, it's not all good. Dude, what about the ones that would buy them? Yeah, they'd have huge collections. I've never had a porn collection. I've never had like a box I mean, when I was young, like I had some Playboy magazines or something, but I never had like a box of like VHS, like in 40-Year-Old Virgin, when Paul Rudd comes to his house and he gives him his porn collection, and it's like just stacks and stacks of stuff. No, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I know people like that exist, but I've never seen them. Like when you hear about people, they've got like hard drives of this shit. Why? Why would you do that? I don't think I've ever watched the same one twice. I don't think I've ever watched one longer than 15 minutes, and I don't think I've ever watched the same one twice in my lifetime. Since I was like 13 or 14, whenever you start. Those tablets are pretty jailbreak proof. Oh no, they're watching like 30-second clips. Smoking Blondie. They're not jailbroken. They're just watching short clips because these guys can't get enough, right? And they're trying to talk to girls and online and stuff. Porn would bring in aggression and feed the very sickness of the heart. Sex was supposed to be a beautiful, intimate experience shared between man and wife. Man and wife, terra firma. Porn causes an opposite effect. It doesn't. The other issues of sickness of the hearts. I think it must desensitize you, right? I think it has to desensitize you. But also you get ideas. You get ideas for, hey, I want to try that, you know? I don't know. I feel like it's like smoking cigarettes or doing cocaine. Like, it just don't do it too much. It'll kill you. Just don't do it that much. Like, isn't it normal? Like, if something is hot, you could put it in your mouth and eat it. But if it's too hot, or if you don't swallow it quickly enough, or if you don't, like, you got to learn how to deal with these things in life. Guns are dangerous. They kill people. They're horrible. But also they're good. And they're fun. And they're interesting. And they work. I don't know.
Content, but a former high-ranking prison official told us that there's no way for the state of California to monitor 90,000 of these iPads for all of these prisoners and to do so in any rigorous way. And more than one inmate told us the restrictions are easy to evade. They can get pornography sent to them through a number of different means. And someone like Robert Morey, the tipster killer, seemed to have no problem at all soliciting photographs from this German psychology student. And when we logged in to talk to these killers on California's
She's German, man. They're free spirits out there.
Death row. There appeared to be no age verification at all. So someone who had abused kids in the past could actually be chatting with those same kids through these Gavin Newsom-funded iPads.
Gavin Newsom.
Here's what the state of California Corrections told you. When reached for comment, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation said the tablets were, quote, tightly controlled education tools that provided inmates with, quote, access to the Bible, education, and re-entry resources that actually reduce crime.
Yeah, I think it does reduce crime. You got to pay for the internet access, right? That makes sense. I'm guessing it's more about messaging. And I'm guessing they can't download a lot of video. That's why they're saying that they get like 30-second clips.
Believe them?
Well, I got bad news for those prison officials. These inmates that we talk to are sadly not reading the Bible. They're watching.
We gave them tablets to read the Bible. Why aren't they reading the Bible? Yeah, that's why we did that. We gave all the prisoners tablets for the Bible. I thought that they probably got tablets so they can learn about how to appeal their cases, learn about law and shit. I don't know what people do with tablets. I don't even have a tablet. I probably would read books. I'm guessing I would be, if I was in prison, I might watch a little porn, I suppose, because I won't see a woman anytime soon. So I suppose I probably would watch a little. But, I'd probably read a lot of books, right? Makes sense.
Watching 30-second pornography clips, and they think that the California officials that are
30-second pornography clips. You heard him? 30-second pornography clips. Okay, so they got to watch the same one over and over again, I'm guessing is what they're doing. They get like a little porno clip, and they watch the same one for 30 seconds over and over again until they can get off. That makes sense. Porn has never done it for me. It's not natural to me and not erotic. I mean, to each his own, I suppose, right? They are going cranky from now on cranking. I don't know. Dude, I read so much, so many series. I read a lot, so I probably would just get books. So, Sky, you opened talking about Tulsi. They went after her because she wasn't down with Iran. Yeah, that makes sense. I think but what's with the MK Ultra and JFK stuff? Why is it, if they're going after her, why is it all about JFK and MK Ultra? Why are they talking about that? Sky, let me ask, why would you watch other people in the act? Is the equivalent of people through windows of someone in the bedroom. Everyone has seen some form, but porn is a dysfunction. Well, I think that, I think it's just dopamine, man. I think it's just a dopamine hit. That's all. You want to make it something deeper, like it's this sexual, or even Smoking Blondie said it's not erotic to me. Yeah, I don't even know if it is supposed to be erotic. It's I guess a tool for masturbation, right? I mean, why do women use vibrators? Why don't they just use their fingers? Or why do men use? I don't know. What do men use? Why do anything? Why buy anything that would help you achieve orgasm, which is just mostly release of endorphins, right, and dopamine and shit? So it would make sense to me if you don't have love in your. I'll tell you what. You know what's funny? When I got divorced, it was this. Some people don't have imagination, or some people don't have the time. Imagination, you got to think about stuff. Some people don't have that, you know. I don't know. It makes perfect sense to me why people do it. It just seems like a dopamine. People get addicted to that, though, right? Like all the other stuff. I think that's why it's an issue. Men use pocket pussies. I've never had a pocket pussy, but I guess sure. I mean, I don't know. Take a shower, bro. Yeah, take a shower. That released dopamine. Absolutely. Porn is wrong, just wrong for me. Porn isn't wrong, just wrong for me. Got it. I think some porn is probably pretty bad shit, but I think like all things, some things are bad. Some things, it's a thing that exists. Some of it's going to be bad. Some of it's going to be good. Some of it's going to hurt people more. Some people's going to hurt people less. Some people will be more susceptible. Some people won't. But when it comes to just like why it exists, I think it's clear why it exists. It's a way to get your dopamine hit when you don't have a partner. That's all it is. Like I was gonna say, when I got divorced, they said go get a membership to a massage place because it'll give you some human contact. So even though it's not sexual, you're surprised. Actually, it's surprising when all of a sudden someone disappears and now you don't have any human contact. You haven't touched anyone in years. You haven't touched anyone in months. You haven't touched anybody in weeks. And so going to a massage studio or whatever you call it, that gives you some human contact. And so it makes sense that now you're paying someone for it. This is just like an extreme version of that, right? You're paying for someone to take off their clothes because you haven't seen that, or you're paying for someone to touch you in ways that are different than just a massage, right? Yeah. Am I Elon Musk's brother? No, I'm the template. Elon Musk is attempting to look like me by spending millions of dollars. Like he's got himself a penis implant because he wants a big schlong like me. He's got himself teeth implants because he wants perfect teeth like me. I've never had a cavity. He got himself a jaw implant because he wants a big strong jaw like me. He got himself hair plugs because he likes my hair. Like he spent a lot of money trying to look like me. I find it flattering myself. But no, he's like the Temu version of me. I was born like this, and the richest man alive ever, actually, the richest man who ever lived, is spending millions of dollars trying to look like me. So I'm flattered. Thank you for asking. Porn is wrong, and women get tricked when guys salivate when they walk by it. Objectified woman as pleasure objects, it always looks upon women negatively. Always? Does it always look upon women negatively? I don't know, man. Terra firma, maybe you're right. I don't know. I don't care that people in prison are watching 30-second porn clips with...
Running the program are a complete joke. They're not going to stop them. If there's a will, there's a way. That's what they all told us.
I just want to finish here, but you don't need to respond to this. Just a greater observation here about what they're doing in California. Under Gavin Newsom, you write, California sought to transform its massive prison system into a Nordic-style rehabilitation program. Newsom has placed a moratorium on all executions, transferred condemned prisoners to facilities across the state, dismantled San Quentin State Prison's death row, and turned the notorious prison into a therapeutic center with art, classrooms, a cafe, and podcast studios.
Makes sense to me. Prisons should not be places where we torture people.
That is the future there in California. Chris, good to catch up with you. Thanks.
That's the future there everywhere, you stupid old piece of shit. Prisons are not supposed to be torture chambers. Most people in prisons are just people that the state doesn't like. For some reason, it's perfectly... The largest crime in America, don't forget, the $50 billion a year of wage theft. No one goes to jail for it. No one's persecuted. No one's prosecuted. It's almost never pursued. And yet $50 billion a year are stolen from the workers. And guess what? It's not even a crime punishable. You can't even go to jail for it. It's just a fine if they pursue it. But if you steal $50 worth of medicine for your starving baby, you can go to jail in America.
Parents in Lower Merion Township.
It's your debt to society. I love people like this. It's your debt to society. What the fuck are you talking about? Society is the reason why they have been failed by society. That's why they're in jail. They were failed by society. It's not their debt to society. It's our debt to them. Because we failed them. We didn't educate them. We didn't provide them with opportunities. They paid into a system they never got anything out of. People like Elon Musk get a lot. People at the bottom get very little. And if they just don't do what we say, then we put them in prison. Grown women are smart, and it's weird to claim they were tricked. Not all porn watching is done by men. That's true too. Smoking Blondie, that's what I mean. It's not all created equal. It's weird that people just like porn and they're like, it's all one thing. I just don't care that people in prison are watching 30-second porn clips on their fucking iPads. Don't care. Not even a little tiny bit. Not even a little bit. Sky, you just got challenged. I got challenged by what? I got challenged? By whom? What do you mean I just got challenged? I don't see where I got challenged. I don't see it, but I like it. I am challenged. I'm a challenged human. Do some work there is your dopamine. Productivity promotes dopamine release. Yeah, but that's the hard way. Yeah, you could get dopamine from going for a run or meditating, but all that shit's harder than masturbating. Masturbating is like the easiest way for a human being to get dopamine. Watch the bonobos, man. They're fucking each other. They're just fucking to say hello because they get a little dopamine every time they do it. So I mean, like, we're basically just bonobos. You're basically just a bonobo. I'm basically just a bonobo. Basically, we're not that different.
Are not happy with the school district decision to give Chromebooks to elementary school students.
Oh no, they're voting. Parents don't want their kids to get Chromebooks, but we want prisoners to have iPads.
Another meeting tonight about the whole thing as the district tries to find middle ground here. Jeff Skaversky, you were at the school board meeting tonight where there was a lot of talk about this issue.
Certainly so. Parents in the Lower Merion School District are speaking out against the right to overuse computers in the classroom and the right to say we don't want it. This, as the school district is evolving with learning and technology ahead of the school year next year.
Full opt-out of a kid accessing technology in our district is not an option. So I'll just put that out there.
A jam-packed Lower Merion School District board meeting tonight gets testy as parents raise concerns over the distribution and use of Chromebooks for elementary school students. Parents
aren't all kids using Chromebooks now? I think every school in California has Chromebooks.
Who believe too much screen time is a bad thing want the ability to opt out of the use of
screen time is a bad thing, but then we want them to train to get jobs, and at their jobs they'll be staring at screens all day. You might as well, if school is just to train people to work for the state and work for these fucking corporations, don't let them have screen time. Well, how will they be competitive against everyone else who's totally okay with spending 12 hours on screens all day?
Tablets for their children.
What I'm not going to do is go back and forth. So being in
Bonobos do not throw each other in jail cells. That's true because they don't have government. Only the government does that. The government and corporations put other animals in prison cells. Look what we do to dairy cows, and look what we do to every animal on Earth. We put animals in cages. You're absolutely right. We're the exception there because of our greed and because of capitalism. Capitalism built the cage. We want to make money off of animals and each other. Don't forget that most of the prisons we're talking about here are for profit.
I'm up here. We're having the conversation. This is the purpose of the meeting, to have the conversation.
Leave the opt-out for the people like me who need it. Leave a path for some of us who need to do something for our children. If it's not working for our kid, leave an option there for the kids who can't responsibly use the device to be the best good student they can be. The brains are not fully developed yet. We can't expect them always to make good choices, but we could give them good guardrails.
While Lower Merion School District is standing firm, saying they will not allow parents to opt out of computers, citing the district is not set up for individual learning, the board says they are working on...
How the fuck are you going to opt out of computers at a school? What are with these people, man? I don't want my kid looking at a computer. Oh.
Setting up parameters for computer use, which the superintendent also outlined in an email to parents earlier this month.
This is the first step for us, and we have that in our minds as well.
Not only have more than 600 parents signed a petition fighting for their right to opt out of computer use, but many spoke up tonight, including their children.
None of the learning apps are used to learn, and they are just used to pass the time, not to use it.
Yeah, the Lower Merion School District is reviewing that proposal, and they are hoping to have a decision in place come June so they can have everything ready to go for the school year at the beginning of next year in the fall. We're live at Lower Merion School District. Jeff Skaversky, Fox 29 News.
A tough issue for parents, for everybody involved, no doubt about it.
That is not a tough issue for parents. School. Guess what? We got fucking computers in schools now. They've had computers in schools since I was a 14-year-old. Shit, before that, I remember playing Oregon Trail on computers, man. We played it at school. The only time I ever played Oregon Trail was at school. I didn't have it at home. And a lot of kids, they don't got computers at home because they're too poor. And so we teach them how to use computers at school because they don't got them at home. That's why we do it. What's a computer? Oh my God. Pewter? I don't want my kid learning nothing about no pooters. You're going to homeschool. I homeschool my kid with no pooters. I don't want no pooters. I don't want no pooters. Powerful people don't need porn. The proof is with Epstein Island. It's very insulting to say porn watchers will be pedos and rapists. Maybe you should look inward for the reason you are so judgmental. I mean, I don't know. I get why people are against porn. It's pretty bad. It could be bad news, but I don't know. Oregon Trail and that floppy disk. Remember that floppy disk, man? I even played Aliens on floppy with that big 5.0 floppy. You gotta put it into the computer like this. And you got that lever. You got to put that lever down, that lever. Okay, it's ready. That was great. I remember getting internet in school in 96. I remember I went to my first school. I went to my freshman year. I moved to Orange County, and it was a brand new school. They had no senior class. It was a brand new school, just opened, brand new high school, and they had a computers. They had internet in the fucking library, and they had fiber optics connecting all the classrooms, and they had TVs in the classrooms. It was crazy. The computer in every class. A computer in every class. It was crazy. And you know what we did? We went to the library and we looked up naked pictures of Elle Macpherson and Kate Moss, because man, those JPEGs that would like come in, those progressive JPEGs that come in all nice and slow. It's like it gets clearer every time it makes a pass because this internet's so slow. Those were the days, right? That was porn. Yeah, it was a rich school. It was brand new. It was a brand new school. And this area, I live in that area again today, and it is kind of a ritzy area, a little bit. All right, thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully your kids will have computers, and we won't all die, and Tulsi Gabbard will go to jail. I told you Tulsi Gabbard would be the next one. I think she's going. I think Tulsi Gabbard's going away. Yeah, it took a while. I remember the fear. Like, we'd go into the library, and we'd get one of the computers that the librarian couldn't necessarily see over our shoulders, but we'd all be like this, and then we would like look up naked Elle Macpherson or naked Kate Moss or naked Cindy Crawford, any of those like early 90s, Turlington, Naomi Campbell, and we'd look up that. And then the photograph would come in so slow, and we'd be so nervous we'd get caught. We were like, "Oh shit! Someone's gonna see me looking at a naked picture of Elle Macpherson." Oh man! Come on, man! Hurry up! Yeah, exactly. They don't do that anymore. I know. Watching the snow. Yes, you did the same. Oh, Pamela, yeah. All the Baywatch girls. You could look them up on the internet naked, but you'd have to wait for the photo to come in like this. There's your dopamine rush, yeah, man. It was so innocent back in the day, you know. Now. Now a 14-year-old's like watching gangbangs or something. I don't know. Guys are watching like crazy double penetration videos, and I don't know what 14-year-olds are probably watching shit that I'd never even thought of. You know, shit that I didn't even. God damn. But when I was a kid, yeah, it was pretty innocent, but it didn't feel innocent. It felt real like, ooh, it felt real crazy. Well, very dangerous. Anyway, they're taking away the internet at the prisons, and they're also taking it away at the schools for some reason. There we go. Pamela Henderson. Shit. All right, thank you all for watching. Illegitimate non-carborundum. Don't let the bastards grind you down. We're going to do the Morning Sky Afterglow right now. Thank you for watching the Morning Sky Show. This is the #1 news reaction show on YouTube and YouTube history. This is #1 YouTube reaction show. This is the #1 news reaction show in YouTube history. I appreciate your being here, and I think you're awesome. Godspeed, rebels. Don't let the bastards grind you.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.